Every single time, every single crime, every single lie, early lie. Every single hour, every single day, every single night, early lie. I know it's hard to believe it's the whole forest, not one tree, and it's every branch and leaf. They're born to deceive, but I'm telling you the truth. It's not just one or two, it's every single Jew. They all hate you, and it really breaks my heart. But their lies are off the charts, and they only bring us harm. You gotta get smart. So if you want to be safe and don't want to get replaced, it's best you start being based, or you'll get erased. Every single time, every single crime, every single lie, early life. Every single hour, every single day, every single night, early life. I know it's hard to accept that all the ones you've met lie with every single breath. They want you dead, but you must not be weak. Just open your eyes and see they always exploit the meek. See their vampire teeth, and it can make you cry to learn your life was full of lies and their face was a disguise. But you must fight. So if you want to live and protect all of your kin, you have to grow thick skin, or we won't. Every single time, every single crime, every single lie, early life. Every single hour, every single day, every single night, early life.
And we are live. What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know. Well, I think I did figure out what the problem was. Basically, long story short, what happens is if you leave your computer on for a bit with, you know, the advanced, I guess, sound drivers that I have, and you don't attend to them, because I had kept the computer on like the whole weekend while I was gone, basically stuff starts to mess up without you restarting it. So I had to restart everything. Most of the streams were able to stay up, though. Rumble, YouTube, they're all able to stay up. Well, YouTube wasn't able to stay up, but I had to start up, but I was able to start up the other ones. Thank you so much to CubQ55 for the 5 gifted. I appreciate that, my friend. We don't give up, right? Even when we have problems, we still come in and make it happen. So thank you for being patient, guys. I apologize for that, though. So now, from now on, you know, obviously it's a learning process. Every time I go stream, I'm going to, like, you know, make sure that I, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I restart the computer beforehand. So sorry about that, guys. Let's see here. We got Lynn Holt, subscribe, $10. Appreciate you. Nigas Graper, OSS Army taking over, and this Graper is in for it. J2 Ninjas joined the movement. Good to see you back, bro. Let's go. I appreciate that, Isaiah. And I got a special announcement for you guys as well that I'm going to make, that I got some for you guys, because tomorrow, guys, we are going to go ahead and react to the debate, or well, kind of ended up being a debate between Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens. We're going to do that tomorrow on OSS. But I'm going to give you guys something special to do it. So it's going to be an OSS exclusive, but I'm going to go ahead and make it, do something for you ninjas and make it better. I'm trying to think what else here. But yeah, sorry for the delay, guys. We're back up on all the platforms. We should be good now. So yeah. Okay, let's see here. So obviously today is a big day, guys. We're going to be talking about what's going on in Syria, and we're also going to be talking about what's going on in Russia as well. 2 big fronts where there's conflicts going on. As you guys know, you know, this has kind of been frustrating for Trump. He's been trying to make a deal with the Russians, but the Russians do not really, you know, he tells them one thing on the phone, and the next thing you know, he's over here bombing Kiev. So obviously this has frustrated Trump quite a bit. But a whole bunch of developments there. Russia unleashed a massive attack not too long ago on this. And what we'll do is let's start off first. I'm thinking we'll start off first with Russia, Ukraine, and then we'll work our way into what's going on in the Middle East, obviously, because that's huge news as well. But yeah, crazy stuff right now with what's going on. So let me go ahead and open this thing up for you guys.
Massive attack underway in Ukraine. So far, we understand at least 17 explosions in a matter of minutes. 17 explosions.
So shit.
Across the city, one of the largest cities in Ukraine tonight. According to officials there, most of the strikes are targeting a civilian area in Kharkiv. The attack coming as stunning new details are emerging about a phone call between President Trump and Zelensky. Now, it is the Financial Times that had obtained much of this information, and they are reporting that Trump asked Zelensky on this call, this is what the FT says, Volodymyr, can you hit Moscow? Can you hit St. Petersburg too? The FT says this is according to multiple people familiar with the call. Sources who tell the FT that Zelensky then responded, absolutely, we can if you give us the weapons. Now, people briefed on the call, which took place one day after Trump spoke to Putin, said that Trump spoke about, quote, making the Russians feel the pain. So with all of this, Trump, of course, was asked about this today. Here's what he's saying publicly.
Should Zelensky target Moscow or deeper into Russia?
No, he shouldn't target Moscow.
All right, well, that's what he's saying publicly.
Yeah, because that would be very bad for us.
Privately, of course, could be a different matter. Sources tell CNN that despite Trump...
An attack on Moscow would be an enormous, like a direct attack would be an enormous, with real weapons, enormous escalation.
Public comments. He has not ruled out giving Zelensky new offensive weapons that Ukraine has long requested and previously been denied, like joint air-to-surface standoff missiles. Now, those missiles, perhaps not the range for Moscow or St. Petersburg, but they do go about 230 miles. And what that would do for Ukraine is put possibly 30 Russian additional air bases, 30 at risk. So Russia tonight is responding, and they're responding by going right there, all the way to the jugular, as they have done.
And just so you guys know, to bring you guys up to speed on a little bit of this stuff, Russia, right, Ukraine launched a surprise attack and destroyed a bunch of their planes about a month ago, right? And there's just been constant escalation since Ukraine has done that operation. Very similar to what Israel did to Iran, by the way. They got behind enemy lines. They launched drones from behind enemy lines and took out a bunch of prize targets. This seems to be like the new modus operandi, where you're getting behind intelligence, you're getting behind enemy lines with your intelligence service, and then launching drones from within the country, right, to destroy high value target items.
In other moments of great tension, and that is by threatening nuclear retaliation. Listen to this clip from state television in Russia that was uncovered by the journalist Julia Davis. She closely monitors Russian propaganda. Here's what she found.
Right now, they're
Okay, they're translating. All right, cool. Now this comes from Russian media.
considering giving them long-range weapons that can strike Moscow and St. Petersburg. What is Trump doing? He says, it isn't me. We understand that this is a lie. It's America. Therefore, we should clearly understand that we have to conduct a retaliatory strike against America and American forces. Yes, this is nuclear war.
Mincing no words there. This is nuclear war. Straight to that threat. And when it comes to Trump's threat to Putin, that Putin has 50 days to end the war or face massive sanctions, well, that is being met with a public shrug in Russia. Here's the foreign minister, Sarah.
And again, thank you to SXM for the 10 gifted, man. I appreciate you very much. And also, CubeQ53 for subscribing for 2 months. Shout out to you, bro.
Sergei Lavrov.
50 days? It used to be 24 hours. It used to be 100 days. We've been through all of this.
The Russians aren't scared, man. I mean, we'll see what happens.
And longtime Putin ally, top Russian security official now, Dmitry Medvedev, posted,
They've dealt with the sanctions. They've dealt with getting kicked off SWIFT. They've dealt with all of it already. So it's like, you know, at this point, they're kind of like, all right, what are you going to do?
Trump issued a theatrical ultimatum to the Kremlin. The world shuddered, expecting the consequences. Belligerent Europe was disappointed. Russia didn't care. Well, moments ago, Trump was asked.
And they don't. And this is why Trump has been extremely annoyed when he's been calling Putin. He tells him one thing and does another.
About why he believes Putin will suddenly care and will suddenly change everything in 50 days.
A lot of opinions change very rapidly. Might not be 50 days, might be much sooner than 50 days.
But again, this is all public versus private. Russia can say that it doesn't care, and maybe there's truth in it. But part of the reason there could be some truth in that is because so far, Trump has not followed his words with actions. So far. I mean, in January, Trump posted online, if we don't make a deal,
the other thing also
soon, the
other thing you guys got to also understand is that, you know, he's dealing with another nuclear superpower here. So he's got to be very careful with how he moves and does things, where you're giving Ukraine enough weapons and supplies to be able to defend themselves and fight, but at the same time, you can't give them, you know, everything so they can go ahead and launch a very serious attack. So it's a very delicate balance, chat, with giving aid, enough aid, but not giving too much where it'll put us in a bad position.
Other choice but to put high levels of taxes, tariffs, and sanctions on anything being sold by Russia to the United States. 44 days later, on March 7th, he posts, I'm strongly considering large-scale banking sanctions and tariffs on Russia until a ceasefire and final settlement agreement on peace is reached. Well, time went by. Here's Trump on April 27th.
Do you trust President Putin? You know, in about 2 weeks.
Of course, nothing happened after any of those prognostications, and nothing happened after that 2-week time period. There was no sanctions, no tariffs, not then, not in January, not in March. But then again, here was Trump in May.
Do you still believe that Putin actually wants to end the war?
I can't tell you that, but I'll let you know in about 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, we're going to find out very soon. We're going to find out whether or not he's tapping us along or not.
Well, of course, that was 6 weeks ago. And now Trump has put out a new deadline of 50 days. And tonight,
now it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because we all know what happened with Iran in 60 days. What's he going to do on the 51st day? Israel's not going to help us on this one, are they?
Kharkiv, the world is getting a small taste of what Putin is capable of. Those explosions that I just talked about rocking the city, 17 of them, the massive ones, happened in apparently the period, just those, of 20 minutes. So gosh, you think about what happens in 20 minutes. Think about how many thousands of people will die in the next 50 days, if 50 days is a real deadline. Kristen Holmes is out front live outside the White House. So Kristen, I lay out that history because it matters in terms of how serious this threat is. What are you learning about Trump's plan and about how he really sees Putin right now?
Yeah, Aaron, I mean, I think the thing to point to is, yes, this has been a long game of President Trump almost seemingly defending Putin at various times, asking if he's being...
Hey, shout out to Unforgiven with the 5 gifted. Appreciate you, Unforgiven, greatly. And as you guys can see, I got my gifted subs there for Rumble. So I think Bill's just put that in. Shout out to Bill's.
Strung along, and then also giving these kind of arbitrary deadlines of 2 weeks. But one thing that has changed over the last several months has been President Trump's perception of Vladimir Putin and perception of the relationship that he once believed that they had. And we've really been watching that unfold in real time as he has grown increasingly frustrated. I mean, one of the things he was asked today was that he was asked about what he says to Putin behind closed doors on the phone, and he said that Putin says he wants peace, but then never acts on it. This is a change that might actually lead to President Trump doing something, and that's what we're hearing from allies of his, particularly war hawks, people who really have been wanting him to enact these sanctions on Russia, is that his growing frustration might actually lend them to doing something. And one thing to make clear here, these tariffs that he's talking about in 50 days, they aren't tariffs, they aren't aren't going to be on Russia themselves. We do so little trade with Russia, it wouldn't matter. It's on these intermediary countries that do big business with Russia and the United States. So the hope there is that even if this is just a threat, that these other countries are going to be wanting Putin to come to the table to negotiate. But whether or not that works remains to be seen, particularly when you're watching these officials in Russia kind of shrug off Trump's comments.
President Trump today still expressing his reservation and frustration with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Just one day after announcing a new plan to get U.S. weapons to Ukrainian troops using NATO and NATO allies, and warning Putin he has 50 days to make a ceasefire deal or face a second round of punishing tariffs. CNN's chief White House correspondent and anchor, Caitlin Collins, is live for us at the White House. Caitlin?
Yeah, Jake, and I should note the president lashed out at a reporter when they asked him why he is giving President Putin another 50 days here as they are seeking to bring this war to an end, or he says that Russia is going to face some heavy sanctions here. The president did not like that question and also said that he believes that the 50-day timeline is actually not that long after all. It's a sentiment that we've heard echoed by Republicans in Congress as well, who have been trying to push their own sanctions bill to the president's desk eventually. But Jake, he did make some news on Russia, and amid some reporting that he had asked President Zelensky during their last phone call if Ukraine would have the ability to be able to hit Moscow or St. Petersburg if they had long-range missiles. The White House did not deny that the president actually brought that up to Zelensky, but said that he was merely asking the question, not saying that it was something that he should be talking about. And then the president himself took questions from reporters on this as he was leaving the White House to go to Pennsylvania earlier, where he said he does not believe and is not considering giving Ukraine long-range missiles, and also said he does not think President Zelensky should try to hit Moscow either. He did, though, Jake, make clear his frustration with President Putin, and as they are in this dynamic and waiting for these next 50 days to play out, and this is what he told us.
Well, we're going to see what happens with President Putin.
He also asked the questions about Epstein, which we'll talk about that here in a second as well. The other thing also, guys, that's you know, I'm trying to think how he's going to play this. So let's finish watching the video, and I'll give you guys kind of a little bit my analysis what I think could happen here.
So far, I've been very disappointed with President Putin. I've solved a lot of wars in the last 3 months, but I haven't gotten this one yet.
That is his frustration, Jake, in terms of not being able to bring this conflict to an end, something that he initially promised to do on day one in office. And I should note, I've been talking to officials here at the White House, and that frustration that you're hearing him air out publicly, as he's kind of been building to for the last several weeks, is a sentiment that he has been reflecting in private for quite some time, and now is clearly doing so publicly. The question, of course, is how the Russian leader is going to respond and whether or not that 50-day deadline is going to have to be met, and if the president follows through on it.
All right, so obviously it's next we're going to cover a little bit of Epstein, and then we're going to get into what's going on in the Middle East. Obviously, he's in a rock and a hard place because campaigned on it, wants to get rid of the war, but Putin is making things a lot harder for him because, quite frankly, the Russians don't have a need to negotiate. Let's be very candid here. They don't have a need to negotiate, and they're going to go ahead and see their objectives. They look at it like, we've lost hundreds of thousands of soldiers. We got the skin of the game, and we're going to make sure that NATO never becomes a problem for us ever again. And we're going to make sure that they don't get closer to Moscow, and we're going to keep doing what we're doing. So unfortunately, this has kind of put Trump in a situation where he's inherited a nightmare from the Biden administration. Now, what I see here is they're probably going to go with the sanctions, right? And the secondary sanctions is probably what they're going to do. And I think the next thing that they might do is what they might do after that is maybe hit strategic military targets within Russia, within Moscow. I think that's why he might have asked Zelensky, can you guys hit Moscow? So we'll see, man. We'll see. This is a very delicate situation. Obviously, Trump's got to navigate this very strategically and very intelligently because he's not dealing with, some rinky-dink Middle Eastern army. He's dealing with a real refined military force that has the capability to, actually retaliate for real. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And I got the sub counter up, guys, that I got to fix now. I just got to do it manually, but that's all good for Rumble. So if you guys donate on Rumble, the subs, I'm keeping track of it there for you guys now, so it'll be a lot easier to know what's going on. Okay, so let me go ahead and read some of these chats real fast. And then we'll get into Epstein. Then we're going to get into what's going on with Syria. It's going to be the main story. Glad you're back, Fear. OSS, thank you, Cash. Nigas Groiper says, fuck Zelensky, fuck the Khazar Mafia, and glory to Christian Russia. Okay. One Chess, can you also react to that dumb deodorant dodger that was attempting to pull a dig at you on Tim Pool and also react to you versus Destiny? The deodorant dodger that was attempting to pull a dig at me? Are you talking about Elad? The guy that was wearing the Olympic stuff? One Chess, is that what you're talking about? He's not Indian. He's actually, I don't know if he's Israeli, but I know he's Jewish. K. Finish Sam, he says, Dear team, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude. Your guidance and example have truly been a lifeline for me. Since I was 19, I've looked up to leaders like Andrew Tate and Moren, and I'm committed to becoming the best version of myself. I met my mentor, Brandon Carter, and I believe I'm his best student, even if he doesn't realize it yet. I've saved 15K euros, some in investment or pounds. Okay, for K1 Fitness. Then start doing, bro. Less yapping, more doing, nigga. Jose says, can you cover the Dave Smith and Josh Hammer debate? Yeah, I can actually. I can cover that. It was a good debate. Josh Hammer was over here capping all over the place. Dude, I need to do one of these debates on a big stage with the Zionism stuff. I genuinely think I could cook anybody on this topic, man. DG Build says, FNF Speed, here you go, Myron. Can you tell these retards, A.K. Roman, to stop muting people on YouTube because they get in their feelings? And give One Chest a wrench? I don't know what Roman's muting you for. Myron, my fear, is there any way I can get a mailing address for you? I know guys have sent you stuff in the past. I have a little something for you. Pause. It's legit, definitely something you'll come across once in a lifetime. Yeah, Icy has the email, the mailbox number. Send in a chat while we're live on Fresh and Fit, and she's here and I can get it. Nightly Wisdom W Show checking in. Appreciate that. Paranoid says, hey, Myron, so I started working at a restaurant for a month ago, and this girl starts to like me. We did some things, and she said, what you're looking between us? I said, RS. She said, oh, I'm not looking into a committed relationship. Before that, she was asking everyone about me if I was single, etc. as a situation. So a situationship, Myron? Number one, why are you trying to get into a relationship with a girl you work with? Why are you being a simp? And then number two, you are cruising for a bruising, my friend, dating a girl that you work with at a restaurant. You got to be careful. Because that shit could absolutely fuck you up, man. And the fact that you're looking to get into a relationship with a girl that early on, that tells me you might not be as experienced with women. So I don't know if you'll be able to maneuver properly to deal with women that you work with. Shout out to Ram D with the gifted sub. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you. So yeah, dude, be careful. K Fitness says, even if I don't, okay. At 21, 6'5", 110 kilos, and 50% body fat, I have visible abs. I've learned that discipline and focus are the keys to success. My story is one of overcoming heavy hardships, being a misunderstood suicidal kid from a broken family, with a brother who was autistic and a sister with a condition that shortens her life. I promised myself to fix my family before I leave this earth. All right, K Fitness, you know what to do then. Less yapping, more doing. Thank you for your impact. I aspire to meet you one day, learn from you, and give back any way I can with respect and gratitude. Thank you. Ram Theo with the 10 gifted. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate that, Ram Theo with the 10 gifted. You guys are going to get a good show today. Also, I might as well go ahead and let you guys know this right now while we're here. As you guys know, I'm going to be doing an episode tomorrow where I react to the discussion between Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes. I'm reserving it for tomorrow because today we got Fresh and Fit. So we're going to cover the Lauren Southern situation with Tate on Fresh and Fit tonight at like 8 or 8:30. But for you guys, I got a special code. You guys can go ahead and join the OSS. The code is Early Groiper. Okay, Early Groiper for you guys. You get in for about $2, $1 or $2. I forget what I put the discount at for you guys. I'm put the link in here for you guys. A lot of you guys love Nick. So I went ahead and made that code for you guys specifically to join the OSS at a discount for the first month. Then after that, it goes back up to 10, niggas. So you guys get to Jamie for 1 month. So, because I know a lot of you guys want to go ahead and watch that thing. And given that I've seen a lot of people get hit with copyrights, I'm going to just go ahead and do it on OSS. So here you guys go. I'm going to, so you could join the OSS for only for $2. And then it's going to go up tomorrow. So the code is Early Groiper Ninjas. Here's the link. I'm putting it in there for you guys right now. Boom. It's in the YouTube chat. I'm going to put it in the Rumble chat for you guys as well. So join for only $2. Use the code Early Groiper. And you guys can jump in, man. All right. Because we're gonna do it. We're gonna do that stream on we're gonna do that stream tomorrow, but we're gonna do it after we do the show. So the way it's gonna work, guys, is tomorrow 5 o'clock I'm gonna go live. We're gonna cover the news, updates with the conflict, everything else like that. Then at the end, we're gonna go do the Candace and Nick interview. I'm gonna sit through the whole way through it. We're gonna react to it all tomorrow, and we'll do that on OSS. So this is your way for you guys to get into the OSS at a cheap price. That way I don't get hit with copyright and I can say everything I want to say and I have to worry about shit. Because Candace is copyright striking people right now for reacting to it. Okay. Let's see here. All right, K Fitness, thank you so much for your love. Kumo DTV says, I have 2 credit cards, both with a $300 debt limit. How much should I spend monthly? Well, your goal, bro, is that 300 is too little. So you're going to have to just like use it and then pay it off immediately every single time and keep your utilization under 30%. Deb, you're finally back. Sending in my tuition. Thank you so much, Pop Pop. Jay Money says, can you give me the promo code for the OSS? It won't let me join without it. New promo code is up right now for you guys. The other one didn't work. Now the new promo code is there. It's Early Groiper. Join in. You guys can get in tomorrow because tomorrow we're going to do that reaction. So I want to go ahead and let you guys be able to get in at a good price. DC Shabbat says, Yo, Moren, the value that you and Fresh bring to the space is much respected from this side. Fuck the haters. Yeah, bro. We got a lot of haters. King Michael, you really handled that dude in the Olympic jacket like a straight G. Salute, brother. Yeah, bro, it was losing an argument. I got the truth on my side. Moho's Gambit says, first time watching on OSS, just want to say thank you. You've helped me increase my credit score from 560 to 720 and still climbing. Also got my lazy ass back into the gym. Good. Should I wait until 740 credit score to get another card or just another one now? I currently only have one. If you already got one now, get yourself up to the 740, bro, and apply to all the cards at once. Is the Castle Club discount still available? Yes, it is. CC17, bro. And we're going to do a Zoom call after for you guys as well. Okay, let's see here. Let's get into Epstein, and then we're going to jump on Twitter. Suleiman, I think, has a Twitter space right now going on with the conflict, with the latest. So we will do that after. So let's go ahead and jump in real quick on Epstein with Trump, because this is hilarious shit.
The story that will not go away for President Trump.
It will not go away.
Because
and the Democrats are loving it. The Democrats are loving this, by the way, guys. This is a big L for MAGA in general, for sure. And they're absolutely loving it. I'm looking at Hassan Piker, Kyle Kulinski, Dean Withers. All these fucking losers are salivating at the discombobulation that this Epstein file crap has created.
As Republicans on the Hill are joining in the MAGA chorus, demanding more transparency on the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. This is reaching something of a bipartisan fever pitch right now and creating the most bizarre alliances. MAGA influencers, congressional Republicans, and congressional Democrats essentially
CNN audio is trash. I'm bumping it up for you guys. Don't worry. I don't know why the hell it's so low.
Teaming up against the Trump administration and its handling of a case that went away in 2019 when Jeffrey Epstein.
Audio is going to be perfect from this point forward, ninjas. The last one wasn't my fault. That was the computer needed to be restarted. But once shit actually works the way it's supposed to, man, we're cooking.
Died in jail, sparking a flood of conspiracy theories on the right. Even House Speaker Mike Johnson is now speaking out, calling on the Department of Justice to release whatever files they still have on the sex trafficking investigation. President Trump, after years suggesting he would release files and wanted them released to the American people, now says he just does not get it why people care.
I don't understand it, why they would be so interested. He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life. I don't understand what the interest or what the fascination is.
Come on, man. So bad. Optically bad.
I really don't. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. But credible information, let them give it. Anything that's credible, I would say let them have it.
Attorney General Pam Bondi, for her part, is not budging, maintaining that after their
Yeah, she put a lot of the fucking she put a lot of the fire on that, man.
review of the files, there is nothing to see. House Democrats, as I mentioned, they're really jumping in now. They tried to force the Justice Department's hand here by putting an amendment in an unrelated bill to release the.
We're giving the Democrats a lot of power, bro. Like they've been roasting us for days now on this bullshit. Shout out to SXM with the 5 gifted. Thank you so much, bro.
Welcome, punch.
Every time you guys donate on Kick, we got our boy Mordecai coming up on the screen, which is hilarious.
The Epstein files. That failed, but that's not stopping Democrats from trying to exploit this break, this fissure between President Trump and his party. CNN's Kevin Liptak is joining us now starting us off from the White House this morning. Where is this headed today, Kevin?
Well, it's certainly not dying down, which had been the expectation of people inside the White House when we were talking about this yesterday. Certainly the president's supporters still very upset about all of this. And it's not clear that the president saying that he doesn't understand it, saying that, quote, only very bad people are interested in this is going
Oh, my God, bro.
to have the effect that he hopes it has. And a lot of the ire still continues to be directed at the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, who, remember, only a few months ago said that she had the Epstein client list on her desk ready to review, but then in that memo last week said that such a list did not exist. Now, we heard from Mike Johnson, who is about the biggest ally of President Trump's in Washington. He was asked about that comment from Pam Bondi. Listen to what Johnson said.
We should put everything out there and let the people decide. Pam Bondi, I don't know, when she originally made the statement, I think she was talking about documents, as I understood it, they were on her desk. I don't know that she was specific about a list or whatever, but she needs to come forward and explain that to everybody.
So clearly now a lot of pressure mounting on the judge.
Yeah, that was the interview that Mike Johnson did with Benny Johnson, by the way, guys. He did an interview with Benny Johnson, I think yesterday, we're talking about this, because even people like Benny Johnson who are, I'll be honest with y'all, bro. There's a couple of influencers that I would damn near say are part of the administration. Charlie Kirk and Benny Johnson are them, okay? They're basically mouthpieces for the administration. Charlie Kirk, and that's something else that I wanted to tell you guys. I didn't get a chance to talk about this too much, but let me talk about this real fast. So as you guys know, right, we've got to go back in time. Story time, niggas. Right, story time. So as you guys know, right, Charlie Kirk, you got to give credit where it's due. Turning Point USA was the ground game that Trump utilized during his campaign to win. There are a multitude of factors that got Trump to win. Turning Point USA, doing podcasts with people like Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn, and just doing collabs with streamers and, you know, these influencer type personalities. Obviously the assassination attempt helped them quite a bit, getting that epic picture. All of these different things played into it. But when it came to Trump's ground game and the rallies and utilizing platforms like Turning Point USA and then Charlie Kirk and Scott Presler and these guys getting people out there to vote, right? Getting young people out there to vote. They were critical in getting Trump elected. Now, here's the problem. Since Charlie Kirk was huge in getting Trump elected, as well as helping get some of these guys confirmed. You guys know he was a big supporter of Pete Hegseth. He was a big supporter of Dan Bongino, big supporter of Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, or like all of these people. Okay, Kirk is friends with all of these people that are in high levels of cabinet for the president, right? So what's ended up happening, and if you guys watched my debate that he did out in the UK at Oxford, you guys remember this, and I told you guys this, and I noticed this from months ago, right? That for the next 4 years, Kirk is going to be in a very strange place because since he was a critical component to get Trump elected, right, and basically damn near ran his ground game, he's in a position where he can't really criticize the president like that. Or if he does, it's going to be very small, or he's going to have to make it very quick. Can't go too hard, right? Because to criticize the president almost criticizes himself in Turning Point because they were critical in getting him in, right? Now, he's also in bed with the administration. He knows people personally, etc. I mean, Trump has came and talked at Turning Point multiple times, chat. To get the president to come talk to your event is a big fucking deal, all right? Big deal. He was at AmFest at the end of last year. I don't think he was at this event this year, or he wasn't at this Tampa event. But to get the president to show up at your thing is huge. So now he's in this rock and a hard place where he's got to defend the Trump administration damn near no matter what. So what ends up happening is people beat him up on that. And it puts him in a position where when he's doing debates, he gets put in a position a lot of times where he's got to defend indefensible foreign policy. And he can't really do anything because he has to be pro-administration. So it's put him in a weird spot. Benny Johnson's also in this situation because Benny Johnson's also damn near, a part of the administration, right? Bongino obviously is literally a part of the administration now. He was, but even when he was a podcaster, he was super pro-Trump. So all these guys are kind of put in this weird spot where every time the administration blunders, they have to kind of come out and kind of cover for him to a degree. The only person I've seen like not cover like that is Steve Bannon. Like Steve Bannon has been critical with bombing Iran. He was critical with the Epstein files, Tucker as well. But I wouldn't consider these guys as part of the administration as much. Bannon, I'll be honest with you, I'm surprised. But he's a super Trump loyalist. He went to jail for Trump. So maybe he might get a pass that these other influencers don't. But the point I'm trying to make is that it's put Charlie in a weird spot. Then on top of that, right, he's got a bunch of dudes asking him questions about Israel at the student event, Student Action Summit, right? And I think a couple of them got arrested. So not only does he have to be there to defend like bad foreign policy by Trump or bad policy, but he's also got to deal with, all the criticisms of Israel. It's funny because when you walk into the SAS thing, right, there was like an area, anyone that was there, you guys know what I'm talking about. They had this big ass fucking section to get Israeli flags. It's fucking, you can't make this shit up, man. So it's put him in a weird spot, as well as Benny Johnson. So we'll see how they move. But this Epstein file thing has definitely created a lot of problems. It's created a lot of problems.
Justice Department to put out more information on this. And in fact, you did hear from President Trump yesterday, even as he tried to dismiss all of this, say that he thinks that Bondi should put out more information if it is what he calls credible. But at the same time, he sort of diminished the possibility that such a credible list might exist, saying that it was created by his political rivals. We've also heard Democrats call for hearings on Capitol Hill, people who are associated with Epstein in the Justice Department. We also heard from Tim Burchett, the Tennessee Republican, saying that he wants to hear from the Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell, saying that she should come and testify on Capitol Hill. She's, of course, serving 20 years in prison in Tallahassee.
Yeah, stay tuned, guys. I might have something big for that. Also, guys, as you guys can see, I got my hoodie on, my Ninja Watcher hoodie, okay, because I knew you niggas wouldn't like the video. So here's the merch store right here, guys. MGX store, MGX.store, MyronGainesX.store, excuse me. Holy crap. We got a bunch of different designs, MGX, Ninja Watcher, etc. I got the Ninja Watcher hoodie on right now as we speak, by the way. As you guys can tell, I'm styling right now. Okay. This is it. Nike, fits nice. This is a large. You guys know I'm 6'3". So, matter of fact, like the goddamn video. Okay, smash that goddamn like button. All right, ninjas. But yeah, merch is here. You can get a discount code, guys, in the Telegram chat. So make sure to get in there. Shout out to my guy, DPG. 45 gifted, man. Appreciate you so much, my friend. Thank you so much, DPG. That's the homie right there. But yeah, guys, merch is here. New designs coming soon as well. You got the OSS, the Fear, Ninja Watcher, etc. Hoodies and T-shirts. I got the T-shirt on as well. They fit nice, right? This is the Nike shirt, right? Nice hugging the sleeves, okay? So you could look pretty good with this stuff. It's a Nike dry fit shirt, looks damn good, right? So yeah. This is what it looks like, okay? So go get the merch, ninjas. High quality shit, Nike. It's all Nike. So I know a couple guys have gotten the merch and they really like it. High quality stuff. So yeah, man. Shout out to my guy Brett, bro. Brett's gonna be here today, actually. Brett's here in Miami, so we'll probably make some other announcements for you guys as well, man. But we're cooking, chat. We're building our community. OSS is growing, right? We got good ass merch. So yeah. Anyway, let's get back to it.
Not exactly clear how that would work, but in that interview, Mike Johnson said that he was open to that, saying that he's, quote, all for transparency.
The calls are growing from within President Trump's party to release more information about the case around Jeffrey Epstein. So as the base continues to revolt over Epstein into the second week, some of the president's House allies basically want to see more transparency. Earlier this
year. Oh, yeah, and there's a discount code for you guys in the Telegram chat. I'm going to probably give you guys an updated discount code that will bring the price down a bit more, maybe 15 or 20%. So, but discount code is in the Telegram chat if you're a verified member of OSS. Go ahead and click the Telegram link, join in, and then Brett will confirm you with your email. If you're an active member, you get a discount.
This year, Pam Bondi, Attorney General, told Fox News a list of Epstein clients was, quote, sitting on her desk for review. You can see an image there of Mike Johnson, who's also moved on this issue. Sources are now telling CNN that
this was such an L. DC Drano here, libs of TikTok. I don't know who this is. This is Scott Presler, who's a fucking, I don't know what that creature is. But yeah, if you guys were wondering, yep, they're them boys.
She was actually referring to files which were later given to right-wing influencers at the White House in big folders labeled.
And I found out on Timcast yesterday that they got bombarded. Like, they didn't even know they were going to get these files. These files made them look like idiots, man.
The Epstein files, phase 1. President Trump still seems confused why so many in his party are preoccupied with this.
I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going.
Group chat is back. CNN has done some polling on the issue and found that 3% of Americans are satisfied with the amount of information released on this case. That dissatisfaction along party lines isn't even that far off. As always, I care about the independence number, which is now at 52%.
Moren, you just saw you reacting to Kyle Foregeared sniffing those, you know what, Nelk Boys officially unfollowed, filthy degenerates like Dave Portnoy. Bro, look, man, I keep it 1,000 with y'all, bro. Like, these retard streamers, it's all a L, man. It's all a L. It's an L. And then like people wonder why women don't respect men. Because they look up to people like fucking Nelk Boy's doing dumb shit, bro. And the interview with Netanyahu. Chad, did you know that? Bro, these niggas did a pod with Benjamin Netanyahu, man. Bruh.
Welcome, punch!
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. They're over here doing fucking interviews with war criminals, bro. And here's the thing. I'm not even mad that they did an interview. Do the interview. But I know for a fact they didn't ask him no tough questions. I know for a fact that, like, you know, what was it like living in Boston when you went to MIT? Some bullshit like that. I don't know what the fuck they're going to ask him. But they don't have the comprehension skills to be able to ask that guy the proper questions. They don't know anything about politics, bro. Like, it was funny because I showed you guys a clip. Andrew Tate was like, hey, there's certain things you can't talk about in America. And Kyle's like, the Dems? He's like, no, the Jays. Like, what the stupid? The Dems? My God, bro.
Percent, and Democrats getting religion very interested now.
And mind you, bro, this nigga's like 31, chat. He's not like a fucking teenager. Like, he's not like 18 or 19 like some of these other like dumb streamers. Like, bro, he's 31. Like, come on, man. Like, and if you're gonna endorse Trump like hard like that and be in politics, because they were on the Trump train as well, like endorsing him and shit. Like, at least know a little bit about politics, bro. You know a little bit.
56% are like, hey, we need more information. I don't know who wants to jump in here. Is there a clean way out?
For women, you already know. This is why CNN is failing, bro. Oh, man.
I think politically for Democrats right now, they are doing the right thing in terms of fanning the flames, because this is something that is going to be very detrimental to Trump and Republicans if they don't quell their base.
It's true. She's actually right on this one. Rare W for a woman, but a broken clock can still be right twice a day. But yeah, long story short, yeah, bro, 100%. This is a big deal to the base. And here's the thing. It's not so much that it's Epstein, it's that the administration promised fucking transparency. And the other thing too is that people got to remember, Bongino and fucking Patel are influencers at the end of the day. And what were they doing all last year? Oh, the Democrats are hiding it. They're corrupt. We're going to go ahead and expose everything once we get in. Niggas are in. And then what? Make no mistake about it, guys. Bongino is a podcaster. Kash Patel is a book author. He wrote a book called Government Gangsters. These guys basically made money doing this shit for a long ass time. Now they're in power. So the base is not going to accept them not doing shit that they're supposed to do.
That's the point. The fanning of the flames for Democrats needs to show MAGA base, the podcasters who were so supportive of Trump are the ones who are now saying, we need more information. He's not doing what we thought he was going to do. We did not vote for this. If Democrats continue to underscore that, as opposed to just chiming in ourselves about how this needs to be something because it's important for the American people, right? Yeah. That's what we need to be doing, is underscoring how this could be the one thing, Adi. We have always asked, what is the one thing, if it exists, that would make the MAGA base turn on Trump? It certainly wasn't him shooting somebody on Fifth Avenue.
Exactly.
This could be it.
And I should show a Truth Social post from the president basically saying, why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, Crooked Hillary, Comey? I mean, it's the rogues gallery. It's all the things. All the things. Just put them in there. And the response in general, not been great. Can I give
Not good at all. He's getting ratioed on his own thing of Truth Social, bro.
the last few seconds
Yeah,
to
that's
you?
right. Not been good. This goes to Donald Trump's core, right? This idea that he was an outsider, he was going to come in.
See, this pisses me off because we're giving these fucking retards over at CNN and all these left-wing political commentators and progressives, we're giving them so much ammunition, man. This is the biggest W the Democrats have had in a very long time, by the way, chat. This is a big W for them. They're going to use this Epstein shit and just cook us because literally there's clips of Patel and, matter of fact, I'll show y'all real quick.
And crackheads.
And in QAnon lore, he's the savior.
He is the savior to do this. And now for him to say, oh, there's nothing to see here, why are people up in arms? It goes directly against his identity and the identity of people he picked for these offices. Kash Patel, Pam Bondi. So
Dan Bongino especially.
Don Bongino, exactly.
Joining me now is Holly Baltz, an investigations editor with the Palm Beach Post. Holly, good morning to you, and it's so great to have you. You and some of your colleagues have covered Jeffrey Epstein extensively, going back years and years. Having said that, I'd like to first get your reaction to President Trump now claiming that the Epstein files were made up by Democrats like Barack Obama and Joe Biden. He's also blaming former FBI Director James Comey. What do you say to that?
Yeah, that's a very interesting statement because, his administration under the Justice Department arrested and charged Jeffrey Epstein in 2019. Jeffrey Epstein never goes away. He's a subject of constant attention and fascination. I can tell you, we've been covering him since he was originally arrested here in 2006. And, he will always be around, it seems. So yeah.
Yeah, and, Pam Bondi is trying to stand her ground for now. She says that the DOJ's controversial memo, the very memo that so infuriated so many in the MAGA world, quote, speaks for itself. How tenable is this position that Bondi is in right now, Holly, both when it comes to standing behind that DOJ memo, but also just in terms of keeping her job?
She ain't getting fired, bro. She ain't getting fired.
Well, I can't. It's hard to speak.
She ain't going nowhere, chat.
To her.
I know a lot of people are screaming and saying we need to fire Bondi. She ain't going nowhere, though.
Or keeping her.
Bongino came to work. He's in good. He's not going anywhere either.
Job.
And neither is Kash Patel.
I think writing this thing out seems an extraordinary thing to do, because again, the Jeffrey Epstein case has attracted so much fascination. It does always feel like that there is something going on behind the scenes, or has been, that people don't know about. She
all right, let me show you guys better than I could tell you. That's what the Democrats are doing right now, bro. Look at this shit.
Part refers to a February clip. The list is on my desk. A February clip from Fox that was played of Pam Bondi. Take a listen.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
Oh, shit, my bad.
Quote, how can people be expected to have faith in Trump if he won't release the Epstein files? That post by Elon Musk this afternoon gets at a serious question, prompted by MAGA fans, among others, after the Justice Department asserted in a memo that convicted sex offender and multimillionaire Jeffrey Epstein did not blackmail high-profile clients, was not murdered before he was found dead in his jail cell in 2019, and in fact had no client list.
Yeah, that's the worst one, because we all know there was a client list. I mean, I shared on the show with you guys with Ryan Dawson.
Despite the fact
the list has been out forever.
that the very same administration officials are now asserting there is no there there, many of them were the ones ginning up the controversy before President Trump was reelected and while they were in office. The Justice Department memo, first obtained by Axios, also comes 1 month after the billionaire Tesla founder took to his platform X as his alliance with President Trump dissolved. Quote, time to drop the really big bomb. Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason why they have not been made public, unquote. Musk deleted that post 2 days later, but the new
that was not a good look.
Memo has Musk posting this meme, among others. It's a guy putting on progressively more clown makeup with the text.
First funny thing that Elon Musk has done in a minute.
Text, we will release the Epstein list. We just need more time. The Epstein list is on my desk. There is no Epstein list with full clown regalia. The desk part refers to a February clip. The list is on my desk. A February clip.
Guys, smash that like button, by the way, guys. I got the Ninja Watcher hoodie on because I know you niggas aren't liking the video. Smash the like button. We should be at 3,000 likes.
From Fox that was played of Pam Bondi. Take a listen.
Okay, now what you guys are going to see here is you're going to see an assortment of clips that show members of Trump's cabinet prior to them becoming members of Trump's cabinet or right after becoming members of Trump's cabinet talking about the Epstein files.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Ooh. Even though she might have meant the JFK files and everything else, this still looks bad.
It's been a directive by President Trump.
But here was Attorney General Bondi earlier today.
I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file, along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that.
Trump was asked about the memo today by a New York Post reporter, and he expressed indignation.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked
Mind you guys, this was last week and he was already mad about this shit.
about for years.
That's why he's saying now it's a hoax.
You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
Mr. President, the reason people are talking about this guy is because people serving in the highest levels of your administration have been talking about this guy for years and talking about how the Epstein list needs to be released. Here's then Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance in October 2024.
Everybody in politics has a vice that's much worse than alcoholism, is the way that I put it. But we
release the list.
Here's J.D. Vance with Theo Von.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
Here's Kash Patel on a podcast just over a year before he became FBI director.
Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
Dan Bunch.
Oh, man.
Gino, a former Secret Service agent turned right-wing podcaster, is now the FBI deputy director. Here he is on his show in February. He was named deputy director just a few weeks later.
I'm not ever going to let this story go because of what I heard from a source about Bill Clinton on a plane with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm not letting it go ever. Ever.
Bill Clinton spoke.
Bruh. Yo. Rare W for Jake Tapper and the CNN, bro. I'm telling you guys, bro. And they're still beating us up about this, FYI. Niggas had the clips ready to go. Ready to go, chat. They had that compilation ready to go. Hey, you guys want to release the list now? Okay. Did you guys say this, though? They just handed an easy W to CNN, bro. I'm telling you, man.
Spokesperson released a statement in 2019 saying that the former president, quote, knows nothing about the terrible crimes. We should note the presence of one's name in the files does not mean they were involved in any way in sex trafficking or having sex with any of Epstein's victims. Here's Alina Habba, now interim U.S. attorney for...
Oh, yeah, in case you guys are wondering, that early life, if you guys are wondering, by the way...
That was easy.
Bruh. Man. Letting Jake Tapper get this W is painful, bro.
New Jersey. This is her in February.
I know, bro. Before he did this broadcast, I guarantee you he was just sitting in the back like this, like, yes. I've been waiting for this. I'm about to cook these boys. They've been talking shit about me for years and CNN. I'm fucking got them. Yeah. I guarantee he was in the fucking mirror. Yeah, let's go. You got those clips ready? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, let's go. He's fucking super excited. He's getting his makeup done and shit. Because a lot of these CNN niggas be getting their makeup done in the back. Bro, I'm telling you, he was hyped. Oh, I got my purple tie on for today. Let's go. Bro. Oh, man. Nigga had the clips ready. You know they were sitting on that for like 2 years. Yo, some of those clips are years old, by the way, chat. That they got. Some of these clips are years old. You know they were sitting on them shits. As soon as Trump got sworn in and said, yeah, we're going to release the Epstein files, I was like, okay, just save those clips. Let's see if they actually release them. They didn't release them. Oh, let's go. Sound the horns.
Welcome, punch.
Oh, man.
In this case, in Epstein.
Oh, he got the Alina fucking clip as well.
It is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking.
Oh.
Fatality.
I'm shocked that none of that's been released.
Oh, man. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. This guy is like too perfect. This guy rehearsed this shit for 2 days, bro. This is a rare W for CNN. I'm telling you, bro. This guy was rehearsing this, man, for days. Just ready. He was playing the Rocky music in the fucking background. Yeah, he was running up steps in D.C. Yeah, bro was training for this shit.
In February this year, Attorney General Bondi teased the imminent arrival of the Epstein files, and President Trump's eldest son, Don Jr., posted about the news. Quote, LFG, an acronym for Let's Effing Go. A week later, the Trump administration invited a slew of conservative MAGA influencers to the White House, purporting to give them a first look at a batch of documents labeled the Epstein files, Phase 1, but none of it.
Yo, DC Drano is never going to live this down, bro. This guy's like a Twitter personality. He's also one of them boys, in case you're wondering. Bruh. He will forever, this picture's forever going to be out there as you're the retard that fell for it again.
It was a smoking gun. The vast majority of the information had already been made publicly available. CNN's Evan Paris reported in March that Attorney General Bondi directed FBI agents, in some cases, to drop their work on China and Iran and focus on redacting the files before their release. Remember, Trump made part of this his platform. Here he is during the 2024 campaign.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
Yo.
Yes, I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
So what's really going on here? I mean, what's really going on? Well, experts such as our friend Julie Brown from the Miami Herald.
Yo, I'm mad that they let Jake Tapper get this fucking W on them like this, bro. And they're still talking about it, by the way. If you type in Epstein CNN, they're still cooking on this shit now, even now, man. So, bro, Trump needs to just stop with the whole hoax bullshit. I talked about this yesterday, but I'll talk about it again. Then we're going to get into that Syrian war because we really do want to get into that. Guys, it's simple. There's a classified component to the whole Epstein files. They need to declassify that and put it out to the people. Tulsi Gabbard's going to have all of it. She's the DNI. She's going to have access to it. The FBI is only going to have a margin, have a fraction of the entire pie when it comes to Epstein because the FBI did their criminal case and they also did the domestic side of the intelligence. But keep in mind that we know that Epstein was a foreign asset for a foreign intelligence service. That's going to encompass CIA 100%. We need all the fucking classified files to come out. That's what we really need because that's going to expose everything. If you only get what the FBI has on the criminal case, that's not going to give you guys everything that you're looking for. The American public wants everything. And what they mean by everything means you're going to have to declassify and give everything from the intel community. So that means all of those fucking 30 plus intel agencies, that means all you got to fucking hand over everything you have related to Jeffrey Epstein. That's how it's got to go. The problem is that people are putting way too much attention on Bondi and the FBI. Yes, they're going to have a portion of it, but the intel community is going to have the majority of what you guys are looking for, which is going to be the info on who he worked with, why he did what he did, how much he was getting paid, how he was going about collecting information, why he was collecting information, on who he was collecting information. All that shit is going to be in the IC stuff, not in the FBI file, okay? Or if it is an FBI file, it's got to be declassified regardless. So what they're trying to tell you guys is like, oh, we gave you guys everything, or there's nothing there. Yeah, that's from the criminal side. But there's absolutely going to be a high side file that you motherfuckers don't want to give us. We're not stupid, okay? And the government is purposely bureaucratic like this and nebulous so that you don't know where to go to get the information that you're trying to get. Does that make sense, chat? It's very difficult to navigate in the federal government because there's so many different agencies that overlap and have different jurisdictions, but they have the same jurisdictions on some stuff. So the only way to ensure that we have everything is we need everything from the IC. Everything. Okay? So we need the criminal stuff from the FBI, and then we also need the intel component from the FBI, and we also need everything from the entire intelligence community, whether it's the CIA, NSA, DIA, National Geospatial, whatever the fuck, the NGA, whatever those losers are. They're dorks anyway. I only met like one of them ever in my career. OSI, everybody has got to turn their shit over. Everybody. Okay? So, but they're never going to do that, chat. They're never going to do that. Also, smash that like button. All right, guys? All right. Let me read some chats, and we're going to get into the Syrian war. Also, guys, running a quick promo for you guys. Tomorrow, we're going to be covering the Candace Owens discussion with Nick Fuentes. That's going to be tomorrow. We're going to do it on OSS only at the end of the show. However, got a fucking sale for you guys. Early Groyper is a code. Get in for only $2 to the OSS for the first month. Super cheap. Support the mission. And quick little word from our sponsor. Because we sponsor ourselves over here, niggas. Because JTube doesn't. The only thing I ask, especially for my YouTube viewers, is for you guys to join OSS. We just passed 1,500 active supporters. I want to say thank you guys so much for the OSS. As you guys know, the OSS is my community. Starting in July, we're going to start adding in some perks. We got a Discord that we're working on, a Telegram group. Also, giving you guys merch discounts. You can call into the debrief show. I'm going to take in calls. $4 to join. I'm running a sale right now for you guys. Or you can jump in for the year at $75. Basically, this is how I offset the fact that YouTube is absolutely robbing me blind because I know that they still run ads on my shit. The goal is 10,000 strong for us to fight back against the censorship of YouTube. That's how you really support me, support the mission. It allows me to continue to do these super long streams for you guys. A lot of people tell me, hey, Myron, like you shouldn't even be streaming on YouTube anymore. You should be streaming on Rumble and Kick only. But I'll take the financial hit to reach more people, especially on YouTube where people don't talk about this shit. Yeah, there we go, Ninja. So support the mission. Okay, let's read some chat. Speedy, I used to not like, let's see here. Okay. You should host this haters versus supporters call-in show or X Space. Let your real supporters speak up and back you publicly. Show them what loyalty really looks like. Versus biggest haters, that would be a good show. I don't know, man. I don't know if people would like that. If you guys really want me to do that, I could. But I get the feeling that people are going to be like, nah, bro, we don't want to listen to random people talk. But if you guys want it, then we can do it. Can we get a Bad Goy OSS shirt? Okay, the business. Alan says, do I have to cancel then resubscribe to UCC 17? I don't think so. Speedy, I used to not like Tucker Carlson, but to be honest, I gained a lot of respect from him ever since he interviewed the Tate brothers. Okay. Zero says, hey, Myron, sweatshirt came a little fucked up. Who do I reach out to? Reach out to Brett. Reach out to Brett. We'll get you handled. We'll get you taken care of. Mug Club and Tim Cat. That wasn't us. That was probably the fucking shipper. UPS, one of these bitch ass shipper niggas, man. You probably had a Dequarius handle your package, bro. That nigga was just throwing it around and shit. Like idiot. Conservative Huey says, a Mug Club and Timcast follower here to show support. Oh, thank you, my friend. Join the OSS, my friend. We're the most based. Bro, if you're coming over from Mug Club and Timcast, welcome to the most based community ever, bro. We are a little extreme on this side of the internet. Hey, Mark, grateful for your hard work as always. We need a around the blocks you can't relax shirt. Let me go ahead and tell Brett that right now. That is such a good idea. I'm messaging Brett right now as we speak. Oh, man. All right, done, niggas. Design coming soon. All right. Goonie Goo Goo says, what the fuck, nigga? That's a crazy name. At the Friday night outdoor shows, you should take your underwear off like the influencers tell a woman to wash them? Okay. Ghost JQ says, yo, Myron, W stream as always. Also, if you're given 10K to invest, how would you do it? 10,000, bro? I'd probably do crypto. Drew D11, Myron, I can agree. Trump and everyone else is dropping the ball and not standing for the truth. Devil's advocate, do you think the Samson option is a legit possibility and Trump is treading lightly? No. He just is owned by them boys. Tyler says, Myron, go look at my tweet when you get a chance. It's about OnlyFans in China. They banned it again. I think you'll laugh at what I said. Cash says, if Epstein had all this blackmail evidence, how did he get arrested? Devil's advocate. Because he collected evidence on everybody, and that's why no one thinks he killed himself. Content is very good. Keep going. How are you doing this well read? What sources do you trust and use? Tips to become well read like you. Dude, it's I spend a lot of time all over the place, man. To be honest with you, bro. AXMS says, did you see when Alina was glazing Tate and when asked about it on live TV folded? Yeah, they always do. Lucky 03 Himmarin, with de-dollarization rising and AI replacing the workforce, do you think the world is drifting towards socialism? And if so, why is it still seen negatively than countries like Gaddafi's Libya, blah, 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 thrived under state-led systems? I don't know. Well, depends, bro. This country was not built on socialism. It was built on capitalism. 39Q says they're not going to realize the files because Diddy is in it. Okay. Yo, Myron, tell them why the coins have ridges on them now because of them boys. I've talked about that before. I talked about this on Propaganda & Co. Make me a sandwich. Knight Rider says, hey, Myron, joined OSS about a month ago. I can't access any content. I need your help. I support you on locals. I paid member of Castle Club, also Castle Club. Bro, see, look, you're donating right now on Rumble, bro. You're not even logged into OSS. You got to log in, bro. Log in, and you'll be able to access all the content. Something's off there. Tyler Chris says, they won't turn the files over because that's what Americans need to turn on Israel. Most Americans don't remember or care about JFK. Yep. Hugo Antonio, subscribe for the full price. Thank you so much for $10. Uvo says, hey, Myron, fuck them boys and Netanyahu. It's crazy how Israel put Ahmed al-Shara in power in December, only 7 months later, and they're trying to do a regime change on a guy that they put in control of Syria, SMH. They even used the Syrian airspace to bomb Iran. Now, if Israel's not successful getting rid of Ahmed al-Shara, do you think the Syria might join the alliance to go against the terror? You see, if someone's waking up. Yep, you're 100% right on that, bro. We're going to talk about that. Parabolic says, can you join John Carrica on your show, or the CIA guy? Yeah, I'll try to get a hold of him. Sneeko apparently leaked you doing a stream with Nick and Zerka. Is that true? Yeah, I don't know why he did that. The merch is amazing, by the way. This sort of comes from Dominicano. Everyone needs to get some. Thank you, Dominicano. Yeah, that wasn't good. All right. Andy says, Myron, will the white population start to decline even more? And what can we do once whites become the minority? Got to stop the immigration, my friend. BFD says, I would hope that Trump wouldn't be stupid enough to say he's going to release the files that he's in. I think Jay's told him not to release, but you never know. Lynn says, hey, Myron, needed advice from you. I'm a male, 31 years old, married and have one kid coming. Looking to buy my first house, getting real estate, have 70K down. Would you advise to apply for FHA loan and 5% down or 20% down on first house? Do the 5% down on your first house. Keep that capital, bro. If you're going to live in it, do the FHA 100%. Do not put the 20% down. Do not do that. Put the 5% down, get the property, control the property, live in the property, and then go from there. Maybe on the second house you want to invest, but put the 5% down, have more capital. You have a family, you want to have that emergency fund. So 100% FHA, my friend. The only time you want to put 20% down is if you're investing. Will there be Red Pill theme merch at some point? On the OSS, yes, for sure. For sure. There will be. Okay. Let's see here. And guys, code is tomorrow, early Groiper. You get in for only $2. It's gonna go up to like maybe 5 or 7 tomorrow. But yeah, jump in, guys, while you guys can. We're gonna do the Candace Owens podcast with Nick tomorrow. Merch is also live. Let's go ahead. Oh, they closed the space? Looks like they closed the Twitter space. That's fine. All right, let's get into this conflict, chat.
To the Syrian Defense Ministry. A massive Israeli strike has targeted the Syrian Defense Ministry in the capital, Damascus. Here's the moment of explosion that sent smoke billowing into the sky.
Look at this, guys. Bro.
Another strike then hit right near the presidential palace. Israel
Bro. What the hell?
had earlier threatened to increase attacks if Syrian government forces are not withdrawn from the south of the country. Israel says the strikes are to protect the Druze community living.
Isn't this crazy that we got like 4K warfare? Literally 4K warfare, bro. In the Middle East, man. That's our tax dollars, chat. Bombing Syria, who we just ended doing diplomacy with, by the way.
Living in the Syrian city.
Which, here.
Of Aswaida. In Aswaida, the Syrian Defense Ministry says its troops are responding to attacks by armed groups. It says army forces are there to stop the violence between Druze fighters and other groups. Which
now, some of you guys are probably wondering who the Druze are. So let's go ahead and go through this real quick so this all makes sense, okay? So the Druze guys, right? They're not Muslim, Jewish, or Christian, really. Like, they're their own group of people. They're kind of an diaspora people. Think of them as kind of like the Kurds, right? Basically, they're an Arab esoteric religious group from West Asia who adhere to the Druze faith, an Abrahamic, monotheistic, and syncretic religion whose main tenets assert the unity of God, reincarnation, and the eternity of the soul. Although the Druze faith developed from Islamism, Jews do not identify as Muslims. They maintain Arabic language and culture as integral parts of their identity, with Arabic being their primary language. Most Druze religious practices are kept secret, and conversion to religion is not permitted for outsiders. Interfaith marriages are rare and strongly discouraged. They differentiate between spiritual individuals known as yukai, who hold the faith secrets, and secular ones known as juhal, who focus on worldly matters. Jews believe that after completing the cycle of rebirth through successive reincarnations, the soul reunites with the cosmic mind. So, yeah, these guys basically, bro, these guys are not Muslims. These guys are considered, I guess you want to call them Kafirs. They're not Jews. They're not Christians. They're not really anything. They have like their own religion. Okay, they're a diaspora people that exists in a couple different countries. Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Venezuela. There's some of them. There's some in the United States, Canada, Jordan, Germany, Australia. But there's a good amount of them in Syria, especially in the Golan Heights. Okay, so if you go look here, and this is technically the Golan Heights, just so you guys know. It's a basaltic plateau at the southwest corner of Syria. It is bordered by the Yarmouk River in the south and the Sea of Galilee and Hula Valley in the west. The anti-Lebanon mountains with Mount Hermon in the north and the Wadi Rakat in the east. What you guys need to know about the Golan Heights is basically it's occupied by Israel, and it's been occupied since 1967, following the Six-Day War. Okay? And here it is right here, right? So it's right on the border. Right? Here's Israel. Here's like the Golan Heights. And it's the last line before you get into Syria. Now, it's technically Syria, but it's occupied by Israel. Okay? And a lot of Jews live in the Golan Heights.
Began on Friday. But despite a ceasefire following negotiations with community leaders, violence has restarted, this time between the armed groups and Syrian government troops. Meanwhile, Druze groups from Israel and the occupied Golan Heights have blocked roads in protest against the violence in Aswaida. A large group also forced its way under the wire fence.
Yeah, see, there's their flags right there.
Which separates the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights from Syria. The protesters are calling on the Israeli government and the international community to intervene and stop the violence.
Now, just so you guys know, a lot of them can get Israeli passports, but they choose not to, okay? The ones that are living in the Golan Heights occupied, for obvious reasons. And it's kind of half and half. Like, some of the Druze really like the Israelis and others don't. They don't like being occupied.
Southern Syria. In a moment, we'll hear from Noor Odeh. She's in Amman on what the Israeli government has been saying about the latest strikes. But first, let's speak to Zaina Khoda. She's in Damascus. First, Zaina, you were standing in position just when those latest strikes took place. Just talk us through exactly what happened.
Yeah, they bombed the area right behind her.
Yes, we watched those strikes come in, one after another, in the heart of the Syrian capital, Damascus. Behind me, the Umayyad Square. Those strikes targeting the...
Shout out to the Hakano 07 with the gifted sub. Appreciate you so much, my friend.
Building of Syria's defense ministry. So strike after strike, it caused panic in the capital. Israeli warplanes were flying.
Also, if you guys are brokies watching on Rumble and you're getting ads, say I'm a brokie and someone will gift you subs on Rumble, guys, okay? So, also on Kick. So wherever you're watching, you don't want to get ads on Rumble, say you're a brokie, someone will gift you a sub. Because I know you guys are probably getting some ads if you're not on Rumble Premium.
You could see them in the skies of Damascus. Now, no doubt, this is a significant escalation. There was also a strike near the presidential palace in the Syrian capital. So this is the Israeli leadership giving a very, very direct message to Syria's new authorities that they will intensify such strikes, they will escalate such strikes if the government does not withdraw its troops from southern Syria. We heard the Israeli defense minister say...
Now, the reason why they do that, guys, is to create security, obviously, for the border, but the Israelis don't want them there, right? And then also the Israelis are using the bullshit excuse of, oh, we're coming in to protect the Druze, because the Druze are basically fighting with the Syrian military. And the Israelis are saying, oh, we're coming in to protect and stand up for the Druze. Bro, that's cap, chat. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit as well.
Say this quite a few times in the past 24 hours. He wants a demilitarized zone in that area, and he wants, in his words, to protect the Druze community.
Yeah, okay, bro. Netanyahu caring about people that aren't Israelis? Yeah, okay, bro. Okay.
Say this quite a few times in the past 24 hours. The government does not direct message to Syria's new authorities that they will intensify such strikes, they will escalate such strikes if the government does not withdraw its troops from southern Syria. We heard
and that's the Golan Heights area that I was telling you guys about before, right here. This is a very highly contested area from a strategic standpoint. Shout out to SXM with the 5 gifted. Appreciate you so much. And the Shokan 007 gifting a sub as well. Gifted a sub to DPG, actually. Shout out to you. And then shout out to Recon Tech with the 5 gifted subs. Thank you so much. And then the Shift Podcast gifted 5 subs as well. Thank you so much, my friend. Helping out guys watch the show without ads. You guys are G's, real G's. Because you guys are making the community better. So thank you guys for helping these guys out while watching the show. And all you guys that are watching the show, by the way, I know you guys like the geopolitical content and learning and stuff like that, but yo, you motherfuckers better be working as you listen to me, okay? I'm here to educate you guys, but also I want you guys to make some goddamn money and work while you're listening to me. Most of you guys that watch me, listen to me while you're at work, okay? So do something to be fucking productive. All right, guys? Hoflation gifted a sub as well. Shout out to you, Hoflation.
the Israeli defense minister say this quite a few times in the past 24 hours. He wants a demilitarized zone in that area, and he wants, in his words, to protect the Druze community where we are seeing violence in the south of the country. So right now, the government really is in a difficult position, because if it continues its advance in Sueda and maintains a presence in the province, then it will trigger more strikes like this and endanger its hold on power. But if it decides to withdraw from Sueda and, give in, if you like, to Israel's demands, then the government has failed in its efforts to extend its authority across the country. One of its greatest challenges to unite this fractured country and ensure that, the government is in control of all areas. So in the hours and days to come, this is it's a turning point. We've seen bouts of violence.
Absolutely nuts, man.
Since the fall of the Assad regime in December. But many will agree, if you talk to them in Damascus today, what we witnessed today really is a turning point. And the Syrian authorities in a position where they could see the Israelis change the balance of power on the ground.
And Zaina, I wonder if you could remind us of how we got to the level of escalation we're seeing today, because this time yesterday we were talking about a ceasefire in Sueda between the government and the groups there. So talk us through exactly what happened since then.
Shout out to Blank Star with the gifted sub. Appreciate you.
Well, since the fall of the regime of Bashar al-Assad, we've seen bouts of violence in southern Syria. Sueda, the province of Sueda in the south of the country, this is a majority Druze province. They enjoyed, a level of autonomy, if you like, and they were in charge of security in the area. Now, the Druze are divided. They are not united in their dealings with the new authorities in Damascus. You have Druze groups.
And just so you guys know, this is very important for you guys to know, there's different tribes of Druze. There's Druze that love the Israelis, there's Druze that hate them. And they almost all kind of operate independently. So it's very, depending on which tribe you're dealing with, who you're talking with, they're going to have different political affiliations and different political loyalties. All right, so that makes things very difficult to deal with them. They're kind of, think of them as a wild card in the Middle East, the Druze.
Groups that are ready to deal with the state, who want to see the state extend its authorities. Of course, they have some concerns. But then you have other Druze groups like Sheikh Hajri, who are demanding international protection, who are rejecting the presence of the government in the area and who are putting up armed resistance. Now, in the past rounds of violence, it ended with negotiated settlements, and the government had agreed to pull out and to give the Druze fighters some level of autonomy. This time around, they have managed to secure much of Sueda city. And, this advance really coincided with these strikes. So Israel is really giving that message to the government to pull back. If indeed the government pushes in, they're going to have to reach some sort of local agreement with the people of this area. So, a lot of challenges ahead, security challenges, making sure that the different communities in Syria, because this is really a divided country, feel that they are safe and they have their rights.
And there's many different groups, guys. You got the Sunni Muslims, you got Shia Muslims there, you got Bedouins, you got Druze. There's so many different, and this is why Syria's had so many problems and so many civil wars, because there's so many different sects of groups of people that has created conflict.
And all this, plus facing now an external actor which has directly involved itself,
aka Israel,
in what was a local conflict.
And Zaina, have we heard anything?
And that's by design. They're not coming in to save the Druze. They're coming in to further create chaos.
From the Syrian government over the course of the last few hours, because we've had these strikes on the army headquarters, we've had these strikes on the presidential palace in Damascus. What options are actually available to the al-Shara leadership right now?
Well, there hasn't been any statement as of yet from the Syrian authorities following these strikes, which really destroyed the building of the ministry.
All right, so there was a statement, and maybe she just didn't get it, but basically the statement was that they didn't say anything negative about Israel. That's the takeaways. They didn't say anything negative about Israel, even though Israel's conducting these strikes.
Of defense. But yesterday we heard the Syrian foreign
And we're going to talk about why they didn't say anything about them in a second.
Minister criticize, deplore those Israelis.
Shout out to the Shift Podcast with the 5 gifted. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome.
On Rumble.
Punch.
strikes because Israel has been targeting government forces in the Sueda area. Every time they try to advance towards the city, they have been targeting reinforcements that are being sent from Damascus to Sueda. The highway is really dangerous. It's really dangerous to drive along that highway. What the Israeli army was trying to do really is to prevent those reinforcements from reaching Sueda to help those who oppose the new authorities in Damascus, trying to ensure that the balance of power does not tilt in the favor of the Syrian government. But months ago, the Israeli political leadership said that they will enforce a demilitarized zone in the south of Syria. So they don't want to see any presence of government troops in that area. So, the government, like we mentioned, is in a difficult position. There were, negotiations, behind the scenes negotiations, which even the U.S. envoy Tom Barrack talked about recently between Israel and Syria. Of course, normalization it's still off the table, but to reach some sort of a security arrangement between these two countries now with what is happening, definitely if any progress has been made, it will now mean that, they're back to square one.
Many thanks for that. Zaina Khoda there for us in Damascus. Let's go to Noor Odeh. She joins us from Jordan's capital. She's in Amman because the Israeli government has banned Al Jazeera from reporting inside Israel and the occupied West Bank. So, Noor, talk us through.
I love how they always set it up whenever they have someone reporting from Jordan. They say, just so you guys know, we're reporting from Jordan because Israel keeps kicking us out of Israel and they're occupying. I love how Al Jazeera always says that shit. It's hilarious.
What you've been hearing.
They always make sure to put that footnote in there. Yeah, we're banned, by the way, just so you know. Democracy from Israel. Yeah. Freedom of the press, my ass.
Hearing from the Israeli military regarding their involvement in Syria so far.
Well, Malin, let's start with the latest. The Israeli military chief of staff has reported to instruct the Air Force to move more fighter jets, more drones to the Syrian front, and to allocate more manpower from the military to that front, even if it's at the cost of other fronts on which Israel is waging war. That means that Israel now considers this an immediate priority. We've been hearing from the Israeli Prime Minister, who addressed Druze Israelis, who his constituents who serve in the Israeli army. That's, of course, not all of the Druze community, but certainly a sizable portion of it. He asked them not.
Yeah, there's a good amount of Druze in the IDF guys. Actually, one of the guys that's responsible for delivering the food, I think he's a Druze guy. Let me look him up real fast for you guys. IDF Druze commander. Yeah, this guy. I think this is him. Yeah, this dude. So this dude was the one that was saying, so this guy's an Israeli Druze officer in IDF. He's the one that said, we're not going to let any food, no electricity, nothing. He was one of the main guys that said that. And he's a Druze Israeli. One of the few. Because there's not that many, like I said before.
To get involved, not to breach the borders, and that Israel, its army and its Air Force have this covered. They will fulfill their.
Lassie Blue, and thank you for the gifted sub. And the Shift Podcast with 5 gifted as well. Thank you so much.
Promise of protecting the Druze of Syria, as he claimed. The Israeli Minister of Defense has also said the time for messages is over, and now it's time for those painful attacks against Damascus. Israel will enforce demilitarization in southern Syria. So you have Israel saying very plainly that it will be an active player in internal Syrian politics, but also that it will enforce its objectives with firepower, not just in Sueda, but also in Damascus.
And Noor, as you say, Israel claims that it is carrying out these strikes on behalf of the Druze minority in Syria. we also have a Druze community in Israel and in the Golan Heights. I wonder if you could give us a bit of context on the community and how they feel about what Israel is doing here.
Well, the Druze communities are indigenous to this region. Their presence in Lebanon, in Syria, in present-day Israel, in Jordan predate the establishment of Israel. Now, in Israel itself, the majority of that community who are now Israeli citizens serve in the Israeli army. So there is a special relationship between the state and the Israeli Druze.
They occupy them.
In the occupied Syrian Golan,
There you go.
the Druze identify as Syrians. They do not recognize the legitimacy of Israeli occupation. Even those who have been more recently.
And a lot of them refuse to have Israeli citizenship, even though they could. Some of them that are there can get us Israeli citizenship and a passport. They refuse, obviously on principle. And that's been since 1967. Guys, do me a favor, smash that like button. We got 1,200 likes here. And after we watch this video, I'm going to kind of give you guys a little bit of a monologue describing how the fuck we got here. I think you guys really enjoy that stuff when I go over the history a little bit. But yeah, smash that like button, ninjas. Smash that like button. If you're watching on YouTube, YouTube already has me demonetized. Join the OSS. Use the code EARLYGRAPER. Get in for $2. We're going to cover the, for all, the Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens interview tomorrow. But I'm giving you guys a chance to kind of get into OSS now at a good price. Make a move early. And we're going to do a long stream tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a big day.
Occupied in the additional territory of the Syrian Golan that Israel occupied since December of 2024. Do not...
And since Nick already leaked it, we are working on doing something with Nick very soon. So it's going to be lit. It's going to be lit. Sometime end of this month, maybe early August, we're going to do something with Nick. So shout out to him. And yeah.
Identify or affiliate.
Since Nico already leaked, God damn it.
With Israel. Having said that, there is concern within the Druze community in the occupied Syrian Golan and beyond about what is happening. There are fears about the future of Syria, the nature of the Syrian state, and how relations could be maintained, how Syria can be maintained as a united country that can be inclusive. But the Druze are not a monolith. And that is why the Israeli Prime Minister addressed the citizens of Israel, because he at least understands that the leadership of Israeli Druze, the religious leadership of the sect, has called on him personally to intervene, even if that means military intervention, to aid the Druze in Syria. We will have to wait and see how this develops, because again, there is no one voice that can speak on behalf of all Druze, not in Israel, not in the occupied Syrian.
And again, it's because there's different tribes that have different political beliefs and ideologies, so it's very difficult to deal with these guys.
Golan, and not in Sweden itself.
Okay, Noor, thank you for giving us that context. Noor Ode there for us in Amman. Okay, let's speak now to Amar Kaf. He's the executive director of the Omran Center for Strategic Studies. He joins us live from Damascus. Amar, many thanks for joining us on Al Jazeera English. So what do you make of these latest attacks on the capital by Israel? And what do they signal to you about Israel's intentions and what they are trying to achieve in Syria?
Well, I mean, this is also another escalation within a series of escalations that took place before. But it seems like Israel has been adamant to put its dominance over internal politics in Syria, and especially the southern front, not only security, but...
Now, from what I understand, guys, just so you know, this all started from a robbery that went down where I think a Druze-owned business or market was robbed by some Sunni Muslims out in Syria, or Shiites, one of the two. And that's kind of how this all erupted, from what I've been told. Who knows? But that's what the story that I've heard from many.
It attempts to continue to cause havoc and chaos as it pertains to domestic politics in Syria. So it refuses the right of the central.
And just so you guys know, the Syrian conflict by far is probably one of the most complex conflicts in the Middle East, because there's so many different sects that have different motives and allegiances and alliances with different countries in different areas. So this is by far one of the most complex conflicts in the Middle East. And this is good for Israel. And we'll talk about that in a little bit as well.
Government to control all pockets, all areas, geographies, and it continues to want to impose its own rule. And you know, there are rumors, obviously, now of a land incursion, an additional land incursion, more conditions placed on Damascus, when its only aim was to actually separate between the Bedouins that have attacked people of Suwaida and to protect civilians. That has been at least the announced declaration by the Ministry of Interior and the Ministry of Defense.
And Ammar, why do you think they're doing this? I mean, to what end?
Okay, so yeah, so I just fact-checked myself. I'm correct, guys. So basically, one of the key trigger events was on July 11, 2025, when a Druze merchant was robbed and humiliated at a Bedouin-run checkpoint, leading to a tit-for-tat kidnapping and attacks between the two groups. These local disputes escalated into broader sectarian violence, with the Syrian Observer for Human Rights reporting over 200 deaths, including Druze fighters, civilians, Bedouin, and Syrian security forces. So it did go, it was a robbery and an embarrassment. So that led to problems. And then obviously the Druze don't trust Ahmed al-Shara, the new leader of Syria, the guy that was former al-Qaeda. Remember that dude, Jolani? Yeah, they don't trust him either. So this is one of the things that precipitated this conflict.
As I've been discussing with previous guests, there were attempts at back-channel talks going on, being pushed by the UAE and others between Israel and Syria to come to some sort of normalization agreement. So why put that behind them?
I mean, as President Trump said, the Israelis are not acting out of any rational thinking, and they are not acting based on any logic of an end game or an end result. No one really knows what their end result. There is no logic to this. There's no clear objectives of.
The objective is to keep the Middle East destabilized and weak. That is the objective.
This operation signals to Damascus: don't come to, don't touch the Druze in Suwaida. Okay, what then? What's the end result? Really, this is the puzzling part: is that the Syrian government has shown tremendous amount of self-restraint during the past 9 months on all the incursions and the occupation and the additional attacks by the Israelis, while the Israelis have shown absolutely not even a rational position on at least respecting sovereignty of the state, or the ability of the state, the right of the state to protect all civilians, to include all civilians, to make sure that security is controlled all over the territory. This is really unexplainable, and I mean, there are many theories on this, but the end result doesn't seem to be clear. The same like all of their adventurous wars in the region had no specific objective or an end result to it.
So what do you make of the timing then of these recent attacks, particularly the ones that we've seen today on the presidential palace and the military?
Yeah, guys, this literally was going down just a couple hours ago. This is all fresh news, like as of today.
I mean, it's a clear message to the Syrian government that the Israelis are not going to be silent. The Israelis will not allow the Syrian government to spread and dominate its, hegemony, its authority all over the territory. Unfortunately, this is a message to, the local groups that supposedly that Israel is going to be behind you. Unfortunately, we all know history. Whether it's the Israelis or others, they on the long term they won't back local groups, and so there are certain groups in Suwaida who are being lured to believe that the Israelis will come to quote protect them, while their best guarantee for stability is with the general population of Syria. Is about inclusivity, is about participatory structures that we hope to establish. We are still in the early stages in Syria, but this requires all Syrians to come together and create this pact, and to continue to rely on a foreign government to come in and destroy public properties and destroy safety and security is something that's unexplainable at best.
Okay, Amar, thank you so much for your perspective. Amar Kaf, executive.
All right. Let's check this out as well.
Let's start with a fast-developing story in Syria, because Israel has carried out...
Also, quick word from our sponsor, Ninjas, because you guys know that we don't have any sponsors, aka we sponsor ourselves over here at the OSS. This is why we're able to keep it real. Let's go, baby. The only thing I ask, especially for my YouTube viewers, is for you guys to join OSS. We just passed 1,500 active supporters. I want to say thank you guys so much for the OSS. As you guys use the code EARLYGRAPER, guys, we are going to cover the discussion between Candace and Nick tomorrow. Okay, so you can go ahead and get a discount now on the OSS, since I'm going to be putting it behind a paywall, because obviously copyright and shit like that, so I'm going to give you guys a discount in the process. Know the OSS is my community. Tomorrow's going to be a big night. We're going to have a long ass stream for you guys. I'll probably be on for like between 6 to 10 hours tomorrow. Starting in July, we're going to start adding in some perks. We got a Discord that we're working on, a Telegram group. Also, Discord is already up. Telegram group is up. Telegram group is for paying members. Discord is completely free. You guys can join it. We had like 1,200 of you guys watching me on Timcast yesterday in there. Great community of guys. So giving you guys merch discounts. You can call it to the debrief show. You can join the OSS for only $2 right now, guys. It's pinned in the chat, Ninjas. I'm going to take in calls $4 to join. I'm running a sale right now for you guys, or you can jump in for the year at $75. Basically, this is how I offset the fact that YouTube is absolutely robbing me blind, because I know that they still run ads on my shit. The goal is 10,000 strong. For us to fight back against the censorship of YouTube, that's how you really support me, support the mission. It allows me to continue to do these super long streams for you guys. A lot of people tell me, hey, Myron, like, you shouldn't even be streaming on YouTube anymore. You should be streaming on Rumble and Kick only. But I'll take the financial hit to reach more people, especially on YouTube, where people don't talk about this shit. Some of the only real niggas, bro, because you know YouTube is fucking cucked. JTube. But yeah, guys, show some love. Join the OSS, man. That's how I'm able to keep doing these shows. You guys really enjoy this political content and stuff like that. How do you guys think I'm able to do it? I'm able to do it despite the fact that I'm demonetized everywhere pretty much because of you ninjas supporting on OSS. That is the lifeblood of this podcast. So if you enjoy watching on YouTube, cool. But consider joining to allow me to keep doing this for you guys so I can keep streaming on YouTube for free. Honestly, that's how you guys that are watching right now for free on YouTube, you guys got to thank the OSS guys that allow me to do it. Because otherwise, I'd have to move everyone over to Rumble or Kick only and force you guys over there. And I don't want to do that. I want you guys to be able to watch where you guys want to watch. Support on OSS. If you guys want to watch on OSS, I think it's the best over there because they can use memes. But that's how it is. So you guys got the WOSS for allowing me to do this.
Strikes on Syria's military headquarters in Damascus. And also in the last hour, Israel says it's targeted a military site near the presidential palace. Syria's state news agency says at least one person has been killed and 18 injured in the Israeli attacks on Damascus. Well, I want to show you these pictures of a strike caught on Syrian state television. This footage was shared on social media by Israel's defense minister, Israel Katz.
Bro, that's crazy. She's in the middle of a broadcast and the place gets bombed right behind her.
Well, BBC Verify has confirmed that footage is genuine. The Israel Defense Forces said it launched the airstrikes to stop deadly clashes in the predominantly Druze province. Syria has condemned Israel's involvement and said the strikes had resulted in the deaths of members of the armed forces and civilians. At least 200 people have been killed since the fighting between Druze militias and Bedouin tribes erupted on Sunday, according to the UK-based monitoring group, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. The NGO also says that Syrian government forces have executed 21 Druze civilians. Well, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has addressed the Druze community in a video message today, urging them not to cross into Syria.
My brothers, the Druze citizens of Israel, the situation in Sweden, the situation in southwestern Syria is very serious. The IDF is operating, the Air Force is operating, other forces are operating. We are acting to save our Druze brothers and to eliminate the regime's gangs. And now I have one request.
Oh, and just so you guys know, perfect timing. They pushed Netanyahu's trial back because of these attacks. FYI. Nice timing, huh? As you guys know, your boy Bibi here was in the middle of a corruption trial for bribery and accepting gifts and corruption, other shit like that. And he had a court hearing and it got pushed back because of Israel getting involved in this conflict. Perfect timing? I don't know.
Request from you.
What a coincidence, if you know what I'm saying.
You are citizens of Israel. Do not cross the border. You are endangering your lives. You could be killed. You could be kidnapped. And you are harming the IDF's efforts. Therefore, I ask you, return to your homes. Let the IDF act.
Let's go live to Beirut.
Translation, let the IDF get involved in a conflict to further destabilize Syria so they can take it over later in the future. Let me read some of these. Johnny Afghani says, you should look into Operation Timber Sycamore. It was a CIA-funded al-Julani and 7 other rebel groups to overthrow Bashar in 2011. Al-Julani is one of them boys. Been an asset since day one. Yep, I agree. Shadow says, them boys all negotiate like this. No mercy, no compromise. Never two-state middle ground, even here in the U.S. business. Infantry says, everyone compromised in Epstein scandal now owes Trump a favor for falling on the sword. Yep. Can you do a breakdown on Kenneth Copeland one day? One day. Asked ChatGPT this the other day and it basically called me an anti-Semite. I thought it was pretty funny. Yeah. Make Me a Sandwich says, I'm following you on the Locals app. Cannot access your content saying I need to become a paid supporter. I joined OSS June 23rd. You and Brett looking at this? Long Live Mexico is my local's name. Something's off there, bro. Something is off there. I can have Brett look into it, though. Let me take a picture real quick. Matter of fact, let me send this to Brett right now. All right. I got you, bro. All right. Bro says, got my merch and wear it proudly. You think Brett will do any kind of watermelon warrior, chimping out Cocoa Better theme merch? I don't know if we'll do that, bro. Of course, if we want to get taken off the store, we could, but yeah. Brandon JG Bishop with the W. Appreciate that. The Shokan says, brother, I'm a 12-year Marine Corps combat veteran. I was thinking about self-deleting and you were influential and stopped me. Much love. Hey, shout out to you, bro. I appreciate that you're still here with us. I'm glad you didn't self-delete, man. Glad that you're here. TKD says, I love the consistent content on the geopolitical topics. I'll be joining the military in a couple of months, special operations, and this content helps me to keep in touch with what's going on in the world. Also, a quick question, will OSS ever be an app, or will it stay online? It's going to stay online, bro. Just use the Locals app. Isaiah said, I played HSI. What is some advice you give me considering I served in the Marine Corps? Just do well on your interview, bro. You'll be fine. They need agents, so just don't fuck it up. What's the most underrated habit that made you wealthy? Not drinking alcohol. Not drinking alcohol, for sure. Staying away from booze. Mustwin says, did you know Jeffrey Epstein's cellmate was a 4-time murderer and serial killer? Yep, I know. Yeah, Nicholas Tartaglione. Yep, I talked about him before. Mustwin. Can you interview the Trend Twins? It's a sketch. I know it's a sketch. The Trend Twins. Who are the Trend Twins? A ceasefire was reached. The Syrian army is to withdraw from the ARE and gave the Druze Israelis to control that part. The Great Israel Project is happening. Yeah, well, they've already, I know that they reached that ceasefire, but some people are disagreeing with it from the Druze community. Would you consider Wahhabis as Muslim Zionists the same way evangelicals are considered Christian Zionists? I don't know. Good question. I don't know, man. Make Me a Sandwich said, appreciate you, bro. Real nigga shit. Yeah, man. I said, yep, no worries, dude. I sent your text to Brett to look at it now. Hyman Slayer says, Myron, have you considered putting your podcast on Spotify? Boom Boom Tel Aviv, the song is already on there. Seems like you might be able. Yes, bro, I am on Spotify. So here, and I'll show you guys real quick, because a lot of you guys have been asking me about this. So let me go ahead and show you guys real fast. What's up, man? We're good? Yeah, that's fine. Let's see here. let me show you guys real fast. So if you guys go to the description, right, you go to my YouTube channel, right? You go Myron Gaines, right? For example, Myron Gaines, boom, come in. Here I am on stream. Right here, guys, Spotify, bam. And then you guys can listen to me to wherever you guys need to. So it's the first link in the description. Follow me here, Spotify. This is where you can get the podcast. I'll go ahead and I'll make it cleaner so you guys can see. But yeah, I'm on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple, Castbox, iHeartRadio, Spotify. All there, so you guys can go ahead and check it out right there. All right? So make sure to go check it out, my friends. All the podcasts are there, and they're in video as well. And Mo puts the timestamps in there for you guys. All right, here's the link. Oh, I got to get the Discord link for you guys as well. I'll get it. I'm gonna update my my thing. I'm gonna update this fucking thing. Thank you guys for reminding me. I'm gonna update. I'm gonna put a Discord link in there. But yeah, all my links are here, guys. Instagram, Rumble, Kick, Twitter, the YouTube. But I'm gonna put in a Discord, my Discord link in there too. Mods, can you guys put the Discord link in the chat, please? Can you guys do me that favor, please?
Route into our Middle East correspondent Lena Sinjab, who is
Yeah, I'm on iHeart. I'm everywhere, guys. Everywhere.
across, as I say, this fast developing story. And Lena, bring us the latest.
Well, this is like the most serious escalation Israeli forces have conducted against the new Islamist government led by al-Shara. The airstrikes targeting the military headquarters in central Damascus in Umayyad Square, where we've seen thousands celebrating the fall of the regime, are sending really strong signals to this government, not only the headquarters, but also close to the presidential palace, we believe. This is a message coming from the IDF, from the Israeli government, that they are serious about their position, not to let this government approach the south of the country where the Druze are populated in Sweda city. Sweda is also like very close to the buffer zone of Israel. Israel's forces itself have many Druze community from the Golan Heights. So this is something serious.
Hold on. Let me finish. I didn't finish reading the chat. Sorry about that. Yo, I saw your clip of your Jay impersonation. Had me in tears, bro. Appreciate that, Dev. Sooner history, / All right. You know, Josh God is really Josh Godstein? I don't know who that is. All right, 420 weed friendly. I see your chat. I'll send that to Brett too.
For the Israelis, not only for what they say as protection of the Druze, but what is important for them is that members of jihadi groups that are now part of the official military and part of the official security forces are not present anywhere near the Israeli borders.
Yes.
So this is a clear message coming from the Israeli government to al-Shabaab.
Myron, have you ever thought about doing a debate with a feminist? Just an idea. I'll kill two birds, one stone. With an Israeli feminist? I mean, sure, but they're too scared to do it.
Himself.
Lena, I said in our main introduction, the Syrians are saying 200 people have been killed since Sunday. Just as you were giving us that answer, that has now been updated to 300. Just remind people who are tuning in why and how this violence has exploded since the weekend.
Well, to go back a little bit, since the fall of Assad, the Druze refused to have any official forces inside their main city, Sweda. Some of the Druze, not all of them, they formed militias and said that they are going to have their own control over the country. Now, this erupted many tension between them and the Bedouins, who are backed by the official forces. On Sunday, tension broke out with clashes and real violence. The government said they're sending in troops of of the army and the security to maintain security and stability, but actually some of their own forces committed crimes as well, humiliated and killed many Druze civilians. That's why a ceasefire deal that was achieved yesterday was quickly broken, and now the escalation coming from the Israelis is making the mix even more complicated. It's clear that the Israelis, they don't want any official forces inside Sweden, but that means one thing, is a separation and an autonomy in Sweden, something that the central government in Damascus is refusing, and it's really hard to tell how things are going to move forward after too much blood that is based on sectarian background as well.
Lina, before I ask you the next question, I just want to put onto the screen again what Israel Katz has posted, that video footage of that newsreader in central Damascus. And there you see the major explosion behind her. We know that the IDF have targeted drone strikes and other strikes, both the military headquarters in Damascus and a target they say was close to the presidential palace. But more generally, Lina, we have seen over recent months Israel have a long war in Gaza, the strikes in Lebanon, the strikes in Iran. This is more evidence of Israel flexing their strength in the region, isn't it?
Well, particularly in Syria, this is a government that is really in the making. They have weak army, if we can call it
They don't even have an army.
at all army. They have weak security forces. There are new people who are joining in. Israel itself, following the fall of Assad on the 8th of December, for 48 hours, they've attacked over 400 military bases to cripple the power of this country. However, the new government has made it clear that they're not here to make any wars in the region. In fact, there are talks about, behind the scene talks between the Israelis and the Syrians, that there would be some sort of a peace deal brokered by the Americans.
Yep, and they definitely fucked that one up.
Al-Shara's forces, they have no power and no will to fight Israel.
And we're going to talk about that in a second.
But these violations is making not only Al-Shara looks weak, but making the streets very angry, and even a split of views within the Druze community, many of whom don't want to see Israel defending them, and they don't want to be affiliated to the Israelis. So it's really now back to the politics, back to Al-Shara and how we would handle this crisis. We are told that he's about to deliver a public speech in the coming hour or so, so we'll have to wait and see what he's going to say.
Lina Sinjar up there in Beirut, thanks very much. And as Lina was talking about the wider politics, of course, the US president has made moves to get closer and to re-establish ties with Syria's new leader, Marco Rubio, just in the last few minutes on these Israeli strikes, saying, quote, hopefully we'll have some updates on the situation a little later. So very much a holding statement from the US Secretary of State. So when there is more from America, as they too watch what is happening with these Israeli strikes inside Syria, inside.
All right, so let's kind of go through this, okay? So I'm going to kind of go from the beginning here, because I know a lot of you guys are not really familiar too much with Middle Eastern politics, but, it's very important to understand Middle Eastern politics, because if you guys don't, then you guys are not going to understand them boys, okay? So, give me 1 sec, ninjas. Matter of fact, what time is it? 7:30? All right, give me 1 sec, guys. I'm going to take a quick piss. We're about to cook, okay?
Welcome, punch!
Here, I'll play one more video for you guys while I take a quick piss and get an energy drink, and we're going to go over this.
8:52 is the time. Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. Good morning to you if you're just now tuning in. I'm Jeanne Francine. We are following some breaking news out in the Middle East. Take a good look at your screen. The very latest from Israel Defense Forces this Wednesday morning, as they put out on X moments ago, quote, the IDF struck the entrance of the Syrian regime's military headquarters in the area of Damascus in Syria. The IDF continues to monitor developments and the regime's actions against the Druze civilians in southern Syria. In accordance with directives from the political echelon, the IDF is striking in the area and remains prepared for various scenarios. And as we discuss those strikes happening in the area, we actually are getting a live look in Damascus here at 8:52 on the East Coast. Take a look at the destruction on your screen. You can also see some smoke there in the distance. AP reporting clashes rage in the Syrian city there this Wednesday after a ceasefire between government forces and Druze armed groups collapsed. This as Israel threatens to escalate its involvement, saying it's in support of the Druze religious minority. The Israeli army, again, as I mentioned, hitting near the entrance to the Syrian Ministry of Defense in Damascus, targeting the same site several hours later with a larger strike. Israel has also launched a series of airstrikes on convoys of government forces in southern Syria since the clashes erupted and has beefed up forces along the border. Now, Syria's defense ministry earlier blamed militias in the Druze majority area, saying that they were violating a ceasefire agreement that had been reached Tuesday. They say this has caused Syrian army soldiers to return fire. It said they were, quote, adhering to rules of engagement to protect residents, prevent harm, and ensure the safe return of those who left the city back to their homes, end quote. Meanwhile, reports of attacks on civilians continue to surface this Wednesday, with Druze and family members in conflict zones as they search desperately for information about their fate amid communication blackouts.
All right. So let's go through this chat. And again, tomorrow, going to be a big show. We're going to do the reaction to the Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens discussion. It's going to be a big show, so make sure to get in, guys. Code is early Goiper for you guys. Get in for $2 and join the OSS. So we're going to do it over there so we don't got to worry about copyright and we can say whatever the fuck we want. But anyway, let's get into it. So, all right. So for you guys to understand this stuff, let's go ahead and go through this kind of from the beginning, okay? So here's Syria on the map, okay? And what you guys need to know is that prior to the end of 2024, let's just say December 2024, Syria was a member of what's called the Axis of Resistance, okay? So you have Iran over here, okay? And you have Iraq and you got Syria. And as you guys can see, since Iran and Israel are so far apart, the way that Iran would, fight Israel is they would basically have this this ring of fire around them where these countries that are on their border were hostile, okay? Lebanon, Syria, and then you got the Houthis down here, right? And then there's some militia forces as well in Iraq that oppose Israel, and then there's some that, are with the West, right? Iraq's kind of the Wild West. But the point is that Iran would utilize its proxies to wage war against Israel, right? For many different reasons, right? The occupation of Palestinians, Western imperialism, all this shit, right? Intervention, creating wars, them attacking their neighbors, all these different reasons, right? So they've been at war for decades, right? This is why, your boy Netanyahu has been saying, oh yeah, they have nuclear weapons, been doing that for a minute. But we're going to focus on Syria. So the former leader of Syria was this guy named Bashar al-Assad, okay? He was a former politician, military officer, and dictator. Served as president of Syria from 2000 until his government was overthrown in 2024, okay, after 13 years of civil war. Now, it's important for you guys to know that the Assad family ran Syria for like damn near 40 years, okay? He was originally an eye doctor, and he never wanted to become leader, but his brother was killed. So since his brother was killed, he had to kind of inherit the political reins and take over Syria. And under his tenure, there was enormous amount of war. Because what ended up happening, guys, was in 2010-ish, 2011-ish, the Arab Spring occurred. And during that period, many different Arab countries kind of rose up against their leaders. As you guys know, in the Arab world, I've talked about this before, but I'll say it again because I know we got a lot of new viewers. In the Arab world, pretty much every country is either a monarchy or a dictatorship. All right? I'll be honest with y'all, man. I'm an Arab myself. Like, these Arab niggas don't know how to follow directions. Okay, you gotta rule with an iron fist on these motherfuckers. It is what it is, okay? you guys know me. I'm not biased. I will tell y'all the truth. These niggas are hard at it, okay? You gotta rule with a fucking iron fist. All right? So with that said, right, when the Arab Spring occurred in 2010, 2011-ish in that area, it led to a civil war, right? And as I described to you guys before, within Syria, there's a lot of different sects. You got the Druze, you got the Bedouins, you got the Alawites, you got the, the Sunnis, the Shiites, all kinds of people, right? And Bashar al-Assad, I think he was, what is he? Is he a Bedouin? Forget what he is specifically. Alawite. Yeah, he's Alawite. Okay. So anyway, all different types of sects all across Syria, right? And this obviously made it almost like a fucking perfect staging ground for a civil war, because Syria experienced a civil war on like a whole other level. Obviously, with the Arab Spring, a lot of countries had uprisings and political issues. But with Syria, since there were so many different sects, it created even more problems. And when they tried to protest and uprise or whatever, the Syrian government would fire on the protesters. This obviously led to a conflict that went for many years. There was sanctions, we bombed them, all kinds of shit. And a big reason too was because Bashar al-Assad was an active member of the Axis. And the way it worked with the Axis of Resistance, going back to the map here, was weapons and resources, would flow from Iran through Iraq, through Syria to get where? To Lebanon. Now, why is this important? Because Lebanon is where these guys are located, okay? Hezbollah. All right? And we've talked about Hezbollah quite a bit. But basically, they're a militia group, well, damn near full-on military in Lebanon, okay? And I think it's important for you guys to understand that these guys operate outside of the Lebanese army, okay? So Hezbollah is a Lebanese Shia Islamist political party and paramilitary group. Hezbollah's paramilitary wing is the Jihad Council, and his political wing is the Loyalty to Resistance Bloc. Okay, Hezbollah was founded in 1982 by Lebanese clerics in response to the Israeli invasion of Lebanon. Inspired by the Iranian Revolution of 1979 and Ayatollah Khomeini's model for Islamic governance. And they established strong ties. So basically, these guys were created when Israel invaded Lebanon in 1982. Okay? And then they got put as a terrorist organization alongside Hamas in 1997 by Madeleine Albright. And if you're wondering, yes, Madeleine Albright was, but I digress. So they were named as a foreign terrorist organization. But it's important for you guys to know that Hezbollah operates outside of the Lebanese army, okay? Two completely different factions almost. Now, Hezbollah is more of a resistance group, okay, against Israel. And they are the main, think of them as like the main tool in Iran's battle against Israel, okay? Hezbollah. So it's imperative for Iran to get their supplies and get their stuff through so that these items can reach Hezbollah here in Lebanon, who are, shooting the rockets and, getting in armed conflicts with Israel. Hezbollah by far has had the most run-ins with the IDF. They fought in 2006, they fought in the 80s, they fought just recently, which we're going to talk about. Now, after October 7th happened, okay, October 7th happens 2023. Fast forward roughly into the end of 2024. After Israel completes their ground campaign in Gaza, okay, they begin the invasion of Lebanon into southern Lebanon, all right? And what ends up happening is there were weeks of fighting between the Israelis and Hezbollah, okay? And the purpose for this invasion, for the Israelis' perspective, the objective was to get rid of the Hezbollah strength and power in southern Lebanon, because from southern Lebanon, they were shooting rockets into Israel. And this was creating a lot of problems for Israel because Haifa and all these other areas were being evacuated. Something like 60,000 Israelis were displaced because after October 7th happened, every day after October 7th, Hezbollah would launch rockets into northern Israel. And they did this from a military strategic perspective because they wanted to draw IDF forces out of Gaza to force them on their northern front. Okay? And we all know, well, some of you might know this, anyone that's in the military understands that fighting a war on two fronts is very bad. Okay? So this was a strategic move by Hezbollah to weaken IDF forces as they went into Gaza. So they couldn't send the full force, full might of the IDF into Gaza. So once, and it slowed down their operations. So once the IDF finished up in Rafah, right, and killed a guy named Yahya Sinwar, this dude right here, and they kind of got him on accident. They killed him in October, right? But I always use this as the kind of the as the marker because shortly after killing him, they began the invasion of Lebanon. This guy was the head of Hamas, okay? After they killed Ishmael Haniyeh. So anyway, so after they wrapped up their campaign in Rafah, they headed north and did a ground invasion into Lebanon, okay? And while they went in and did this ground invasion into Lebanon, they launched a pager attack and they killed this guy, Hassan Nasrallah, okay? Now, this is all very important. You guys should know these names because these are all very influential people in this conflict. And Hassan Nasrallah was the head of Hezbollah, okay? So the timeline. October 7th happens. October 7th, 2023. The IDF goes into Gaza, right? After about a year or so, roughly end of 2024, they go into Lebanon. The purpose of going into Lebanon was to destabilize Hezbollah and get them to stop bombing Israel, northern Israel, because they had to evacuate 60,000 people. And the reason why this is important is because Hezbollah is armed and supported by Iran. But for Iran to be able to support and arm Hezbollah, they must move those weapons and move these supplies through Syria. Okay? Now, this is where Bashar al-Assad came in from before, who I was showing you guys. Okay? He was a member of the Axis of Resistance and obviously was being supported by Iran and the Russians. Okay? So, after the Israelis conducted their pager attack, after the Israelis were able to successfully assassinate Hassan Nasrallah, there was a ceasefire. This ceasefire is pivotal because after the IDF coordinated a ceasefire with the Hezbollah, what happened was this opened up the gates for Syria to be taken over. Very important, chat, that you guys understand this, okay? So I'm giving you guys all this background so this all makes sense. So once they went ahead and conducted the ceasefire, rebel groups led by your boy right here, Ahmed al-Shara, okay, rebel groups, HCS, I think it's called HTS or whatever, okay, that he led. He was a former Al-Qaeda member. Rebel groups in Syria who were in this Idlib province went into Aleppo. Once they went into Aleppo, they took it over within a day. Then they started working their way down to Damascus. Now, why is this important? Because Hezbollah was weakened, okay, Hamas was destroyed, and Hezbollah could not give the support to the Assad regime that they needed. And then on top of that, Assad, who had relied heavily upon Russian air power to stay in power during the Arab Spring, Russia has their hands full with Ukraine, okay? So it was just a matter of time. So Ahmed al-Shara makes his way down, again, this guy, he makes his way down to Damascus, and Bashar al-Assad flees. He runs from Syria, gets on a jet, flies to Russia. He's there now on asylum, okay? That's where Bashar al-Assad is with his family right now. Government collapses. While this was all going on, the pandemonium all across Syria, because it took about 3 weeks for Ahmed al-Shara and his squad to take over the country. During this 3 weeks, what ended up happening after the fact was the Israeli government, the IDF, moved further into southern Syria, right, and the Golan Heights, securing the Golan Heights even further, and they started bombing all the military infrastructure of the Syrian army. Why is this important? Because that leads us directly to today. When Israel bombed the hell out of Syria's military infrastructure as al-Shara was taking power, this weakened the government. They did this for two reasons. Number one, they don't trust al-Shara. And then number two, they bombed it because they wanted to ensure that they would never have the strength to be able to attack Israel. And they wanted to weaken and destabilize Syria because, as you guys know, Syria was a critical component to the Axis of Resistance because they would be the ones to supply Hezbollah. Hezbollah is a very capable military that was fighting the IDF and has won against the IDF on multiple occasions, by the way. They've fucked the IDF up multiple times. So they understood for them to weaken their primary adversary in the north, Hezbollah, they needed to destabilize Syria because Syria was the restocking, rearming proxy that was allowing Hezbollah to stay strong. Does that make sense, chat? So they needed to make sure that Syria is destabilized so that weapons can't flow through it into Lebanon. Now, when Ahmed al-Shara came into power, one of the things that he did was, well, actually, hold on. One of the things that he did was, sorry, wrong camera. One of the things that he did was that he he basically said, hey, we want to make peace, we want to recognize Israel, etc. Right? And he kicked all the IRGC guys out from Syria. The IRGC is obviously the Iranian guard. The think of it as like the Iranian special military, right, component. So he kicked them out of Syria, right? And he went ahead and hosted Donald Trump. Well, now I don't know if Trump went to Syria. I think he met him somewhere else. But regardless, the point is that Trump lifted the sanctions on Syria, which was a big deal, very big deal, because we had sanctions on Syria for a very long time because of their association with the Axis of Resistance in Iran. So once we lifted the sanctions, this was a very important step towards diplomacy, right? Very important step. And also, no one talks about this, but I'm confident, though Jolani didn't admit this outwardly, he allowed the Israelis to utilize Syrian airspace to conduct Operation Rising Lions. As you guys know, right, going back here to Israel needed to be able to get into Iran or close to it to be able to hit the targets that they wanted to. When Syria fell, this allowed it where the Israeli Air Force would be able to utilize Syrian airspace to get in. Now, obviously, this isn't publicly known for obvious reasons, but I'm pretty certain that Jolani, aka al-Shara, allowed the Israelis to utilize the airspace to get to Iran to conduct Operation Rising Lions. And that was the operation that was conducted in mid-June, if you guys remember, where they bombed several nuclear facilities, assassinated scientists, everything else like that. It was a very complex operation where they had Mossad agents in Iran destroying missile defense capability, air defense capabilities, jamming radars, assassinating people, all this shit. And it was all done through a complex operation. And a part of that was critical was the Israeli Air Force coming in and shooting and attacking these strategic sites, and they had to utilize Syrian airspace to do that. Okay, and we know this because some fuel tanks were dropped in Syria and found in Syria and also in Iraq. So we know that Syrian airspace was utilized. Okay, during the Operation Rising Lions. Obviously, it was a failure. They didn't get what they hoped, which was a regime change, but that's a whole other conversation. But regardless, sticking to Syria, so Jolani basically was trying to make good with the Israelis, right? And this was a big part of the reason why he was able to get the sanctions lifted against him. But now we see that Israel is taking this this niceness for weakness, and they're attacking Syria. And they're saying, hey, look, we don't want you guys in southern Syria, which obviously is wildly invasive to them and disrupts their sovereignty because they want to be able to have control of this southern area because the Golan Heights they occupy and they want to move further in. And they're using the Druze as an excuse for the Greater Israel Project. Okay? That's the bottom line here. They're never going to admit it, but that's what it really is. What Israel's real intention here, guys, is they're going to use the Druze, okay, and this whole concept of, oh, we need a secure border to our north and to Syria's south. They're going to use that as the excuse to conduct warfare and weaken Syria even further. And the thing is that Jolani can't really fight back because remember how I told you guys right when they took power, when Jolani took power, aka Ahmed al-Shar, when they took power, the first thing that Israel did was destroy their entire military infrastructure before the new interim government can come in and take over and get control of these resources. So they're extremely weak and they can't retaliate. So basically, Syria is going to have to allow whatever happens to happen because they can't even fight back. I mean, they're so fucking cucked. Al-Shara couldn't even condemn the Israeli government for attacking his country. You guys saw they attacked downtown right next to the presidential palace. Okay? Now, there's some rumors out there that the Israelis warned him and told him, hey, we're going to bomb you, blah, 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 and all this other stuff. But regardless, it's still a very weak showing by the new government, okay, that this is happening. Especially, and the reason why I'm mad, okay, you guys are probably wondering, Myron, well, why do you care so much? The reason why I care is because Trump spent like a week or two in the Middle East forging diplomacy, and one of the key things he did was lifting the sanctions off of Syria. So for Israel to come in and bomb them, it undermines everything that we've worked for diplomacy. And then Marco Rubio came out and said, yo, we didn't even know this was happening, really. Now, what that really means is, right, is more than likely the Israelis acted, did this, and then told the United States after the fact or told them as they were doing it, okay? But the reason why I know that this isn't really good for us is because Trump went himself and met with Jolani and shook hands with him and basically had, lifted the sanctions. Now, when it comes to Iran, because I know some people are going to push back on me and say, oh, well, Myra, hold on, bro. They tried to have diplomacy with Iran, right? And they attacked them anyway. Well, the difference between Iran and Syria is that we backed Jolani. That is the difference, chat, okay? We backed Jolani to take power from Assad, okay? We backed them because as soon as that ceasefire happened with the Israelis and Hezbollah, literally the next day, guys, within 24 hours, al-Shara activated his rebel groups and they went into Aleppo and took it over and then quickly went into Damascus and took it over. Within 3 weeks, Syria fell and Bashar al-Assad was run out of there. So that's the difference here. We backed them to get that power. So the Israelis basically are subverting our diplomacy. And the reason why this is a problem is because, as usual, the Israelis will start a conflict, engage in conflict, and then when things get hot, we have to come in and clean up. Or the other side, let's say we don't come in and clean up, we have to continue to give them money so that they can keep doing what they're doing. So either way, we've put the bill. Okay? And the reason why they engage in such reckless foreign policy is because they know that we're going to back them. Our unwavering support is the reason why they behave the way that they do. Now, what this might do is it might embolden Jolani to align back with the axis of resistance, take him from our influence, and then now we have another enemy in the Middle East. Why? Because the Israelis want to fucking bomb and attack everybody. Because for the Israelis, the only thing they care about is having a hegemony in the Middle East and taking over as much land as possible and expanding the Greater Israel Project. Make no mistake about it, that is the goal. And then on top of that, not only do they want to expand, but Netanyahu is trying to keep himself from going to jail. These corruption charges that he's facing, guys, carry something like 10 years in prison. Okay? So he has multiple things going on. Number one, he's trying to stave off the political prosecution that he's dealing with, right? Then on the other end, he's trying to stay out of the ICC jail, right? Because as you guys know, he's been indicted by the International Criminal Court, right? The ICC for war crimes. Then he's trying to also expand Israel. So everything he's doing, right, as much as he won't admit it, is for his own political survival. Okay? And expanding Israel at the same time. He's keeping himself out of jail while simultaneously using the excuse of, I'm keeping Israel safe. And I'm the only prime minister that can do it. So a couple of things can happen here, right? Like I said, it could totally sever what we work towards. It could even get Jolani pulled back into the axis of resistance, fall under Iranian influence again, because they see that they can't trust the Israelis. And it would fuck up all the work that we have, that we've done. And here I wrote a tweet about it. In June 2025, President Trump visited the Middle East and on June 30th lifted sanctions against Syria. This was a significant step towards resolving long-standing tensions. However, less than a month later, on July 16, 2025, Israel began airstrikes on Damascus, claiming the action was to protect minority groups such as the Druze. This story is unlikely to be covered extensively in mainstream media, American media. Why does this matter? It proves my point. Israel faces little accountability for initiating conflicts with its neighbors, largely due to unwavering U.S. support. This persists even when such actions undermine American diplomatic efforts, like what I told you guys before. For example, some allege that the U.S. overlooks controversial issues such as the Epstein case to maintain its alliance with Israel. And I do think that's a big part of the reason why the documents still aren't classified. Similarly, these attacks subvert American diplomacy. The worst part? America bears the financial diplomatic burden of mitigating the consequences of Israel's reckless foreign policy after it burns bridges America worked to build. Our greatest ally does not always align with U.S. interests, and they don't care. That's another big one. They basically shoot first, ask questions later. That's how the Israelis move. And then we got to come in and clean up all the fucking bullshit, chat. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. This could obviously blow over and maybe a ceasefire will come into play like they tried earlier, or it could launch us into a greater conflict. But either way, it's not good. Let's see here. There was something else I was going to discuss with you guys. Oh. And then also, source Netanyahu's trial pauses Israel intensifies strikes in Syria. You know? It's like perfect coincidence, right? What a perfect coincidence. So we'll see what happens, chat. We'll see what happens. You guys got to remember that a destabilized Syria is in Israel's best interests. Here, this was from earlier. So Israel might have made another enemy, bro. So, all right, let's read some chats. Give me ones if that all makes sense, chat. Give me ones. I hope I explained that well. I had to go through the history and everything. But give me ones if that all makes sense, chat. Give me ones. If it doesn't make sense, give me a 2 and tell me why. And before someone says 2 because I'm black. All right. All right, I see lots of ones. All right. Let's I'll read some of these chats before I All right, Tit says, yo, Martin, I'm Pedro Santana. I had the pleasure of meeting you at TPUSA event. What are your thoughts on the guy who got arrested at the event after asking Tucker a question about burning the Israeli flag? Yeah, I told them about that, bro. Nice to meet you. I remember meeting you there. Side to the O/. Yeah, dude, I met that guy before he got arrested. It's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. The Shokan says, brother, much love. Appreciate you. And guys, remember, I'm reading only $5 chats if you're not in the OSS. What do you think of the Palestinian American who was beaten to death by Israeli settlers while visiting his family in the West Bank? Apparently, the Israeli settlers blocked paramedics for hours to make sure he died. Absolutely insane. His name was Saifullah. Yeah, okay, so real quick for the audience. There's a Palestinian American. He's actually from Tampa, guys. Okay, and he got killed in the West Bank when he went to go see some family there because he got into an altercation with some Israeli settlers over there. And when they beat him, they purposely didn't let the paramedics get to him right away, and he died. And it was a vicious beating. And interestingly enough, when you guys know I went ahead and did that interview with Propaganda and Co. in Tampa, one of the guys that was there knew this guy personally, and because this guy was like in a these guys knew this dude because this is obviously the Palestinian community in Tampa is very tight. Bro, terrible story, terrible situation. And it's wild that it hasn't hit the mainstream news like that. But yes, I did hear about it. They killed him basically. Lots of problems going on in the West Bank, guys. Guys, this happens all the time, by the way. People getting killed in the West Bank. All the time this shit happens. It's just that it doesn't get talked about because obviously what's going on in Gaza. But the settlers, dude, which the settlements are illegal, by the way. The entire international community fucking condemns them. They've been doing this shit for a minute, bro. Hey, Martin, this Willie is a pro-Ukraine guy that does daily updates on the war map and even admits that Russia just clobbering Ukraine. Okay, yeah, they are. It's been kind of a stalemate as of recently, but yeah. What do you actually think they are going to release? I don't know. We got played, nigga. These niggas is cooked as fuck. Someone should put red dots on the map every time since 1948 Israel attacks country around them. Big T subscribed. Thank you, bro. Welcome to the OSS. You should react to the next stream after the debate tomorrow and what was supposed to be a short recap turned into a crash out stream where he said what he really wanted to say but held so she would still upload the video. He ended up changing the title to Black Karen shut down after incel stands on business? What? Tony, I'm a little confused by what you're saying there. You want me to react to a Nick Fuentes stream too? Is that what you're saying? This is a perfect breakdown of how Syria got into this situation. Johnny Afghani. I kind of explained it already. But Ghost JQ, Mara, when you close out the stream, make sure you blast the Erica Techno remix. I don't know what that is. Your boy Lem, this war is just getting out of hand. People are dying, men, women, and children because of Netanyahu. He's such a snake. Yeah. Inflation. I just got the merge W stream. When will Andrew Wilson come back for a show? Soon, hopefully. Slevskar says, OSS, we're back. Let's go. Mara, what's your thoughts on the trans Brigitte Macron from France? I don't really care. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a dude. New member of the OSS is from Big T. Been listening to you for years, brother. You saved my life. Lost 170 pounds, got a CDL for over 4 years of savings. Going to invest in property soon. Keep everything you're doing. I appreciate that, Big T. Thank you, man. I appreciate that you're paying it back and supporting me after, I was able to help you. I really appreciate that greatly. Dubsauce says, my girl says if I don't want her to accept drinks from men in the club, I need to give her money when she goes out with her friends. What should I say do? Nigga, break up with her. What the fuck? Are you retarded? Why are you even with her? Why is she going to the club? What the hell? So she goes to the club and she accepts drinks from niggas at the club? Bruh. Come on, man. Come on, bro. So, anyway. Let me see here. Quick word from our sponsor, niggas. The only thing I ask, especially for my YouTube viewers, is for you guys to join OSS. We just passed 1,500 active supporters. I want to say thank you guys so much for the OSS. As you guys know, the OSS is my community. Starting in July, we're going to start adding in some perks. We got a Discord that we're working on, a Telegram group. Also, giving you guys merch discounts. You can call into the debrief show. I'm going to take in calls. $4 to join. I'm running a sale right now for you guys. Or you can jump in for the year at $75. Basically, this is how I offset the fact that YouTube is absolutely robbing me blind, because I know that they still run ads on my shit. The goal is 10,000 strong for us to fight back against the censorship of YouTube. That's how you really support me, support the mission. It allows me to continue to do these super long streams for you guys. A lot of people tell me, hey, Myron, like, you shouldn't even be streaming on YouTube anymore. You should be streaming on Rumble and Kick only. But I'll take the financial hit to reach more people, especially on YouTube where people don't talk about this shit. All right. Yeah, Afghani, I see that you sent me this video here, Syria Operation Timber Sycamore created Syrian crisis. Yeah, no, I get that, bro, but that's going way back. I was more focused on what happened over the last year or so. That's what's more pertinent to what's going on and why Israel feels the need where they can bomb the fuck out of Syria the way that they're bombing them with no retaliation. So I get what you're saying, like, the original, problems with Syria, but I was focusing more within the last 2 years with October 7th. And then Jolani coming into power and stuff like that. And plus, we don't got the full time for the full history that you're referring to. Killer Kane says, I'm not going to lie, we're going to need another Destiny versus Nick soon. One of the funniest debates you've hosted. Okay. Albanians for Wyron. Hey, Myron, did you see Comey's firing just now? I guess she prosecuted Diddy and Epstein. Yeah, I heard. You know what, dude? Let me look at this, man. This is some breaking news. Let's look this up. Maureen Comey fired from the Department of Justice.
Few weeks. This is a Fox News.
Literally 8 minutes ago. Let's see here.
Alert.
Some breaking news. And guys, for those of you that don't know, Maureen Comey is the son of James Comey. Sorry, I said son. The daughter of James Comey, excuse me. Former FBI director from, I think, was he under the Obama administration or was it Trump? Hold on. James Comey. So, okay, he was the 7th director of from 2013 until his termination in May 2017. Okay, so under the Obama administration mostly. Until Trump came in. Yeah, Trump ain't a fan of this guy. But yeah, his daughter is the one that prosecuted Diddy and prosecuted Ghislaine Maxwell. I actually saw her in person when I was there doing the Diddy trial. She was the lead AUSA on it.
This has been a bad few-week stretch for Jim Comey's daughter. She was just fired by the DOJ. She's known for a couple things. She just lost the Diddy case.
Debatable. I don't think she lost it. They still got convictions. So that's not really an L when it comes to the U.S. Attorney's Office. That's going to be counted as a W.
Of course, and she was Jeffrey Epstein's prosecutor. So the daughter
yes, she was.
of the former FBI director, James Comey, she's a veteran federal prosecutor, worked on these cases. Maureen Comey is...
The Shiznit says, join OSS, you $2 losers, or be a real G and pay for the year. Hey, I appreciate that, the Shiznit. I appreciate that. Yeah, guys, that's how you fight back against the censorship with me, man. And yeah, again, tomorrow's gonna be a long ass stream. We got a big show for you guys tomorrow. We're gonna do like maybe 6 to 10 hours. Gonna cover the Candace Owens and Nick discussion. We're gonna cover the news. We're gonna cover Neon with the Breakfast Club. We're gonna cover updates with the war. It's going to be a great stream tomorrow. Obviously, today we're going to cut it a little short because we got we're fresh and fit. We're going to talk about what went down with Tate and Lauren Southern. But yeah, and a Zoom call as well with you niggas.
Fired. So this is sending tongues a-wagging as the, internet personalities and others in this show has asked questions about what happened with the files, why did we overpromise and underdeliver? But the president has made his opinion on this very clear over the last couple of days. We're going to continue to cover this. And we also have big developments in the Biden cover-up, not exactly a household name, but inside the Beltway. They dubbed him Dr. Jill's work husband. Anthony Bernal appeared today before the House Oversight Committee. This is what went down.
Did you ever advise President Joe Biden to pardon his son, Hunter Biden?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Oh!
Was President Joe
Nigga took the Fifth?
Biden fit to exercise the duties of the president?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question.
Oh! This is that Mark Furman event. Taking the Fifth Amendment? Bro.
Did President Joe Biden ever instruct you to lie regarding his health at any time, including but not limited in your testimony to Congress today?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer.
Oh, boy.
To the question.
Now, why would Bernal not want to share his brilliant insights and memories of all the great work Joe Biden did? Here with me on a take on this and this latest news about Comey's daughter, Congress.
Look at it, bro. Look at this nigga, bro. Yo, just so you guys know, when Fresh was up in D.C. for the inauguration, everybody thought this guy was Fresh, bro. Or everybody thought Fresh was this guy.
Here with me.
Niggas came up to him and said, hey, well, how are you? And like, Fresh like, who the fuck is this?
On a take on this and this latest.
Yo, tell me this nigga don't look like Fresh, bro. Maybe a little bit lighter.
Latest news.
Nigga. Oh, man. Yo, I'm dead ass, bro. A bunch of girls came up to him thinking that, thinking Fresh was this guy, bro.
About.
Is everybody here, Mo? Oh, shit. Okay. Well, all right. Well, just come grab me when we're ready, because what I'll do is I'm like literally once we're ready to hit go live, I'll stay on here until we go.
Comey's daughter, Congressman Byron Donalds. Congressman, I know you sat through that deposition today, but first, your reaction to the
Niggas walking up to Fresh calling him Byron.
breaking news.
He was like, wait, what?
Comey's daughter out. Pam Bondi says, we don't need your services anymore.
Well, it's about time. She hasn't really done that good of a job. And at the end of the day, President Trump wants results from every part of the administration, including the Department of Justice.
You don't think it has anything to do with Epstein?
No, I don't think so.
What's your response to all the, there are a lot of influencers, and of course on this show we've asked for answers about the Epstein file. It looks like they overpromised what was actually in the files. There's not much in the file, or as Alan Dershowitz said, there are no files. What do you think about all this?
Look, at the end of the day, I think you got to have transparency in this whole deal. A lot has been made about what
was on the tapes,
what
right?
was on the tapes, what was Jeffrey Epstein doing, what happened in the jail. Like, I know Cash Patel, know Dan Bongino, a ton of respect for both of those gentlemen, Pam Bondi as well. I'm skeptical about, whether it was suicide or he killed himself. But I think as more information comes out, I think being transparent with the American people is the way to go.
Do you think the president will just at some point just say this, just to stop the speculation, put it all out there? But he seems to say people who are pushing for this aren't really supporters anymore, which I think there are a lot of his supporters who just want the answers.
Well, I mean, I think potentially, but look, I would say look at it from the president's perspective. He is on a winning streak of delivering for the American people time after time after time. Again, you want to talk foreign policy, domestic policy, everything in between. He's doing his job. And so I think for everybody in the media circles and in the social media circles to be caught up in Epstein, he's like, wait a minute, but we're stepping on all the great things that we are doing for the American
Right, and I think, look, running the country and governing is different from hosting a cable show or hosting a podcast.
That's right, that's right.
It's a different job, and it's not easy. And look, I always think that
These guys are such meat riders at Fox News. Guys, do me a favor, smash that like button. We got 3,500 you ninjas in here. Smash the like button for me. We only got 1,700 likes though. What the fuck, man? You guys got to stop jaying me, man. I feel like Michael Jackson right now.
president usually ends up at the right spot here. So we'll see how this plays out. What do you think of this? What happened with this testimony today by Bernal?
I mean, look, this is ridiculous. You have the right-hand man for Joe Biden, who knows everything. He comes in, pleads the fifth. The doctor came in last week. He pleads the fifth. All this tells me is that we do have a cover-up. This is the...
Yeah, I mean, taking the fifth is crazy. Taking the fifth is crazy, Chad. I ain't gonna lie, man. Guys, let's get to 2,000. I don't want to hold the show hostage, but you guys are forcing me to hold the show hostage right now. Let's get to 2,000. All right. Let's get to 2,000. Fried Chicken Crusader says, hey, Myron, love your content, man. You inspire a lot of men like myself to be great. I know you got haters, so my question is, when is the next call-in show on FNF? Makes my day when you roast those FBAs, W Myron, WFNF. I don't know, bro. I don't know when's the next time I'm going to do a call-in show. I didn't think about it, really. Just saw Misfit Patriot say on X, if you want the Epstein files, you're a domestic terrorist. Bro, why does anyone even pay attention to him, bro? He's such a fucking idiot. Bro, he is the most annoying and dumbest person on X by far. I think he's literally slow. Not even trying to be funny here. What a fucking retard. All right, we're at 1952 ninjas. Get to 2,000. Smash that like button. All you YouTube ninjas. All right, 1960 ninjas. 40 away. I got my ninja. You know what? So while we wait, since you niggas want to be this way, new shirt in stores. Ninja shirt. As you guys know, I'm wearing it right now. I got the Ninja Watcher shirt and I got the Ninja Watcher hoodie on right now as we speak. This is what it looks like in person. Nice and fit well, right? You guys could take a good look at it, right? Actually, maybe from this camera angle, right? It's nice and high quality print, all that. Nike as well. Feels good, looks good, fits good. This is a size large. I'm 6'3", about 200 pounds, 190 to 200. So make sure to smash that like button. We just crossed 2,000. Shirt is in stores and hoodie. MGXstore.com, guys. MGXstore.com, niggas. All right, let's get back to it.
Greatest political scandal in presidential history. This is bigger than Watergate, bigger than all that stuff, because you had aides to the president or his family were actually directing policy and signing off on items that are critical to the future of this country and not the president of the United States.
And they're all lawyering up, Congressman.
Absolutely, they're
Ooh,
lawyering.
great
I
job.
say bring them all in.
Great job. But we'll let the people take their own conclusions after watching Bernal take the fifth multiple times.
That's right.
Thank you very much, Congressman.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click.
Oh, what the hell? All right, let me see what's the latest one. I wonder why they fired her though. What did she do specifically that got her fired? This Tisa Tell girl, bro, she milks Diddy so fucking crazy, bro. That's all she talks about. It's crazy. Like a lot of these, you know what's interesting? A lot of these YouTubers, man, that I saw at the trial, like after the Diddy case broke down, after the Diddy case stopped, bro, like they literally, their views went down so much. It's like cooked. That's the problem when you become like a one-trick pony and you only cover one thing. Like you end up where,
and welcome back here.
Very difficult for you to get views outside of that. That's why I didn't want to like be there the whole time, because then I would have ended up being a fucking Diddy chaser, and that I was like, nah, man, I'm good, bro. Being there the whole time would not be good. I like to cover other shit. So, yep. A lot of these Diddy YouTubers are not getting the same views now, man.
Here at 2 Live now from Fox. I'm Andrew Kraft.
And here's the thing. I saw her there at the trial. I don't really know her. She seemed nice. I don't really have anything bad to say. Just that the only thing that sucks is like when you spend only you spend like damn near 2 months covering only one topic, your viewership is going to fall if that's all you covered once it's over. That's just one of the unfortunate realities.
Some breaking news to report to you out of New York City. Live picture
I did not want to be a Diddy chaser YouTuber, which a lot of people ended up becoming.
there over New York.
I would cover every day, of course, but it wasn't the only thing I covered. If you guys remember, I was still covering foreign policy. I was still covering what's going on with the economy. I was still covering the tariffs. I still cover what's the wars, still cover social stuff, cultural stuff. Because when you only do one thing, bro, it's like, maybe for a week, 2 weeks, whatever, that's one thing. But even when I was there in New York City, I still covered other shit, man. So,
Harbor, you can see there the Statue of Liberty live picture. I want to put this up, a headline there from the New York Post. Take a look at this. Moren Comey, the daughter of the ex-FBI director James Comey, has been fired from the U.S. Attorney's Office there in the Southern District of New York. Remember, she just worked on...
I'll tell you guys this. She could go ahead and do like a tell-all on the Epstein stuff, by the way, chat. Guys, do not forget this. The Epstein case, the search warrants. I talked about this on Timcast yesterday. The search warrants are still under seal. The affidavits are still under seal. She could talk about what was in those affidavits, chat. She was the case AUSA on the Epstein case, so she's going to know everything. Hey, man, she might want to go do a podcast interview or two. Run it up. Because she is going to have an incredible amount of information on Epstein case as the prosecutor that led that case. And those affidavits are filed under seal to this day, even though the case is done. I want to read those affidavits. I'll tell you guys that. There's going to be a lot of information in there.
On the Diddy trial, she also has worked on the...
Why, you guys like that camera? Yo, I'm telling you, baby. I see you guys in the chat. Hey, man, yo, Myron, that W cinematic camera. Bro, you guys think I'm just fucking around? I'll go hard in the paint, baby. You guys think I'm just here fucking around like these other bum-ass streamer niggas? Like, oh, let me just sit here and, be a retard on desktop. No, man. We go hard in the paint, man. We got high production quality. Crispy audio, crispy video. Right? I put the money right back into the stream, baby. So that's what the OSS does, man. Shout out to the OSS. You guys should be thanking the OSS that we're able to stream and broadcast this shit on such high quality.
Epstein case, the Associated Press has it as follows, that the DOJ has fired Moren Comey. Now.
Yo, so look, it is very difficult to fire someone, chat, in the government. So I'm trying to figure out how the fuck they pulled this off. You can't fire someone for not performing in the government, contrary to popular belief. Very difficult to fire someone for performance. So something is off here.
She is the daughter, like I said, of James Comey. She was a prosecutor in the federal cases against Sean Diddy Combs and Jeffrey Epstein. That's according to two people familiar with the matter telling the AP that today. There was no specific reason, though, given for her firing from the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York.
The only thing I could think of, chat, is like maybe she was a subject of an internal investigation and did some fuck shit. And then this was like the last thing. But there's no way they could fire her for just the Diddy case. There's something else there. Guys, it is so hard to fire a federal employee. It's damn near impossible. So something is off here. Something is definitely off here.
Now, her termination comes shortly after she prosecuted Combs, who was acquitted of sex trafficking and racketeering charges. The rapper was convicted of those lesser prostitution-related offenses. Remember, he'll be sentenced in October. Now, the DOJ recently appeared to acknowledge the existence of an investigation into James Comey, though the basis for that inquiry is unclear. Remember, he was abruptly fired by President Trump in Trump's first term in 2017.
Now, that's different. Being the director of the FBI is a Senate, that's a confirmation hearing, basically. That's like a very high-level position where the president can't fire you just because. But when it comes to being an AUSA, because she's a line AUSA, chat, she's not presidentially appointed. So when the FBI director and being the United States Attorney's Office, being the USA, United States Attorney of the Southern District of New York, these are presidentially appointed positions. Yeah, the president could just get rid of you. Fine. But if you're an AUSA, like she is, she's an assistant United States attorney, which is why she's prosecuting the case. Can't fire them as easily that way. Can't. It's not a presidentially appointed position. So this is weird, chat, that she got fired like this.
So this might be news to you. Maybe you don't even know. James Comey has a daughter who worked in the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern
It would make sense that an FBI director could be fired, but not a line at USA like this.
District of New York.
Ironically enough, you have far more protection as a lower level employee than as a higher level SCS chat. Yeah, I know. I know it sounds crazy, but you actually have far more protection as a lower level government employee than you do as a higher level government employee that's SCS and or presidentially appointed. And my government employees know this. Any of you guys in the chat, if you're a government employee in the chat, put a 3 in the chat. If you're a government employee in the chat, you guys know what I'm talking about. Give me a 3 in the chat if you guys are a government employee. And they'll even confirm what I'm telling you guys. Very fucking weird.
On very high-profile cases, like the Sean Diddy Combs case, like the Epstein saga. So she was an assistant prosecutor there in the office. Remember, that was one of the office's most costly prosecutions.
Yeah, assistant, when they say assistant, it means assistant United States attorney, which means she could see cases. Based on the power by the United States attorney, she is able to try cases in that district under the United States attorney. United States attorney is a presidential appointed position, and the AUSA is like a regular line AUSA.
And they, according to our legal experts, really came up short. This was a very expensive prosecution, and they did not get a conviction on the most serious charges for Diddy. Remember those
all you niggas point 3s in the chat. Some of you, half you guys are capped probably.
Charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. He was acquitted on those charges, though Diddy, remember, was convicted of lesser prostitution-related offenses. So Maureen Comey worked on that case. If you were following our coverage of the Diddy trial, and we had that static shot, that camera angle, that vantage point outside the doors of the federal courthouse in Lower Manhattan, you would, from time to time, when court was over for the day, see the prosecutors walk out and go home. I remember watching live, seeing Maureen Comey walk out with some of her colleagues after trial was done for the day. Now, the Associated Press has it as follows. There was no specific reason given for her firing. So the AP and others will have to do some more reporting on that, on whether or not this was, warranted, for cause. What? Why was she fired? So remember, just last week we brought you the news. The DOJ appeared to acknowledge the existence of an investigation into her father, James Comey, though the basis for that inquiry is unclear. Remember, the DOJ also acknowledging that they were investigating former CIA director as
Bam, somebody said higher government employees are not protected by the union. Absolutely. Thank you. Someone gets it.
well.
I don't know if AUSAs have a union. I'm not sure. I'll be honest with you. But something smells here, chat. Something is definitely off. Because they can't just fire her for the Diddy case. Because technically, guys, she didn't lose. She technically won. She got multiple convictions. They got him on the interstate transportation of prostitutes. So they still got a conviction. It's still a W. Trust me, they still went out and celebrated. I promise y'all that. She didn't get him on the RICO, but that's irrelevant. The AUSA's office still gets a W in the W column, and their prosecution percentage stays the same, aka like 98%. So something is off here, man. Something is very off. You can't just fire somebody like this in the federal government. There's something more to it, man.
James Brennan. So had to get this to you as we come up on the top of the hour. We'll be talking.
The only thing I could think of is that she had some kind of misconduct. But even then, dude, like, if she had misconduct, they would never let her prosecute that case. They would have pulled her off the Diddy case if she had an open misconduct case. Or she was being investigated by the bar. They would have. Yeah, like I'm trying to think here. I'd have to ask one of my lawyer friends, man. Because I'm truly trying to think here. How the fuck? Because if there was an internal investigation, let's say she did some dumb shit, right? Off duty or off, outside of work. And they open up an internal case, like DOJ, OIG opened up a case against her. They would not let her continue to prosecute cases if she was the subject of an active investigation. They wouldn't. They would have pulled her off the Diddy case immediately, especially since they already had six AUSAs on that bitch, right? So that doesn't make sense. And then she didn't lose. She won the case. Yeah. I'm very, something's not adding up here, chat. Something is not adding up. When you understand how the government works and you understand like how what gets people fired in the government, something is off here, bro. Completely off. She didn't lose a trial. It was definitely a W. Okay, she didn't get the RICO. It don't matter. Still W for the government. Still going to maintain that 98, 99% conviction rate. Diddy's still going to go to jail for somewhere between 2 to 10 years. So that's still a W for her. She successfully prosecuted Ghislaine Maxwell, got her 20 plus years. That was a W. She's a very respected AUSA. I watched her debate. I watched her argue in court. She's very smart, very sharp. She's not stupid. So she's very competent. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. This is weird. Because the only thing I could think of is she did some bullshit on the side, but there's no way they would let her prosecute a case like this of this magnitude if she was under investigation. They would have pulled her off. I don't know, chat. You guys let me know in the comments. Anyone here that's a lawyer, maybe you can give your tidbit in chat.
A lot, though, about the Epstein saga. Later tonight in our coverage, speaking with some political analysts, political reporters about some of the comments President Trump has made and posted on Truth Social, calling Republicans who buy into the quote-unquote Epstein lies, the Epstein hoax, those are Trump's words, he called them stupid. He said they're weaklings. He said he doesn't want their...
Solo ones, you don't get it. She didn't lose this case. Bro, guys, any idiot that tells you that Diddy won the case is a retard and doesn't understand how the United States Attorney's Office works and how prosecution works. This was a W for the government. Just because they didn't convict Diddy on the RICO doesn't mean that they lost. They won the case. He's going to jail. Like, don't forget, guys, nigga's going to go to jail for 2 to 10 years, somewhere in that range. And me, I'm willing to bet he's going to be closer to 5 years. The judge is probably going to try to make an example out of him. So anyone that says, oh, the government lost this case, you are fucking stupid. The government won, bro. Like, bro's going to jail. They convicted him. That's all that matters.
Support anymore.
Yeah, solo ones, dude, you're a fucking retard, bro. This is why I hate dumb niggas, man. You are fucking, this dude in the YouTube chat, his name is Solo ones. I got to give you the pen of shame, nigga. You are stupid. You are fucking dumb. Hey, when retards started coming here and tell me something. Bro. Someone said, what if the fuck is 5 years? I'll do 5 years. Shut the fuck up, nigga. You can't do 5 minutes on a treadmill. Some of you motherfuckers talking all this shit. Yo, what's 5 years? I'll do 5 years. You can't do 5 minutes on a treadmill. Shut the fuck up.
All right, so in the meantime...
Some of you niggas in chat are fucking room temperature IQ, man. Nigga's name is Solo Ones. No brain.
I had to get that into you. So
stupid as fuck.
This is of a piece of some of our coverage there, some of these lawfare headlines emanating out of the Southern District of New York. We just brought you...
Someone said, yeah, but only for 5 years, not life. Bro, he might get more than 5. Bro, 5 years is still a long time. What the fuck? You guys over here like, oh yeah, bro, still W, he gets 5 years in jail. Bro, he's going to have to go on a sex offender list. Reputation is ruined. He's still got to deal with all the lawsuits. He's going to jail. Like, what the fuck? Yes, he's not as cooked as we thought, but he's still got to fucking go to prison for a long ass time. Niggas are dumb.
For weeks on end.
Nigga's name is Solo Ones. You know what? Change your name to Retard One, because you are the only retard in the chat saying stupid shit like this. What the fuck, man?
The Sean Diddy Combs.
How you gonna make your name Solo Ones? That don't make no sense, by the way, retard. Do you speak English? How are you using the plural when your name is Solo? What the fuck? You might as well change your name to Smart Retard. Makes zero sense. Some of you niggas in the YouTube chat are literally retarded. You gotta be black. Guarantee it, you fucking fried chicken connoisseur, stupid ass nigga. You ate too much fried chicken. IQ is deteriorated. What the fuck? Nigga name is Solo Ones. What? What a fucking retard.
Trial. Maureen Comey worked on that. She also worked on some of the Epstein cases there. And today, according to sources, she was abruptly fired. And we have to note, we'd be remiss if we didn't, much like her father as FBI director back in 2017, remember, he was abruptly fired by President Trump at the time. So back out live there to the...
All right, man. I guess hopefully we'll figure out why why she got fucking canned. Let's see what this bimbo talking about.
Epstein kerfuffle is the culmination of deep-seated skepticism from the far right about Pam Bondi. Again, this to me is tied directly to Diddy. Again, they put new people in the Southern District of New York. Damian Williams was the head of, they were scorching earth going after Diddy. They had literally flown to London and expanded. They were expanding to Belize. They were definitely already in London. And what actually ended up happening?
Let me know when it's live.
What ended up happening? Trump put his guy in, and the investigation got starved of funds. Could be a coincidence. Maybe they're broke. I don't know. They got starved of funds. But then, hold on, y'all.
Hey, shout out to St. Drew. Nigga's smart. He says, Myron never said Diddy was going to be put away forever. Myron said Diddy's going to beat the trafficking and RICO charges. Yes, I told you guys, I told y'all from the beginning. Yo, he's going to get convicted of something. I don't know about the RICO yet, but I told y'all he was going to get convicted of something. Bro, the feds, this is the way the feds, look, man, for all you fucking smooth brain retards. This is how the feds do cases, okay? When you bring a case to an AUSA, the AUSA is not going to indict the case unless they know they can win in trial. Okay, let me be very fucking clear about that shit, all right? They're not going to take the case unless they know they're going to win at trial. So when you come in with your indictment package, with all the evidence, you're giving them everything they need damn near for trial. That's how the feds do it. They watch you for a few years, you do your investigation, then you come in, you indict, you go to grand jury, you give the AUSA everything they need, you go to grand jury, you indict the guy. After you indict the guy, the AUSA is like, all right, we're prepared to go to trial. And they kind of let the defense know, hey, I already got my discovery ready. Here you go. Here's your thumb drive. Look at all the evidence. 9 out of 10 times, like, yeah, we can't win. We're going to plead guilty. Cool. That's how the feds do it, right? Now, when you got a case like this where you have a wealthy defendant that can actually defend themselves and all this other shit, right? You're going to have what you call like a fail-safe charge, right? And this fail-safe charge is going to be a charge that rain, hail, or shine, they're going to get convicted on it. In this case, it was the interstate transportation of prostitutes, okay? They knew no matter what, they had him dead to rights on that. So that gave them the confidence to go with the RICO. That gave them the confidence to go with the sex trafficking. Because they knew if they couldn't prove the sex trafficking and the RICO, they were going to get him on the interstate transportation of prostitutes automatically. Why do you think they spent days going over the receipts, the hotels, the bookings, and the fact that he traveled everywhere to do this? This case was very dependent upon interstate travel between Miami, Atlanta, LA, New York City. And then also Jamaica and I think Turks and Caicos also came up during the trial. So when they went ahead and they said, you know what, let's go ahead and do the RICO and everything else like that, that was for, sexiness. Yeah, this is going to be a big case. Let's do it. But they knew from the beginning. They had him dead to rights on the interstate transportation of prostitutes with these escorts. Okay? So no matter what you guys say, for the retards out there, this was a W for the government because they already came in knowing they were going to win just on that alone. So their win rate stays at 98, 99%. Still counts as a W for them. Yes, he's not going to go to jail for life. But that's not the intention. The intention is to get a W in the court system and win the trial. If you convict on any of the charges, it's a W. And this is how the feds do their cases. Whenever they have a case like this with like a competent defendant with a competent defense team, they always have fail-safe charges. Every time. And in this case, it was interstate transportation. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and go to Fresh and Fit. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. Let's go ahead and raid Fresh and Fit, guys. I'm going to go over there. I'm literally just going to get up and walk over. We're live already. Let me go ahead and show it on screen for you guys. We're going to be covering Andrew Tate and Lauren Southern. For those of you that don't know, she came out with a book and tried to release a chapter. And she's trying to claim that that fucking Tate raped her. So here's the link for you guys. Come on over for the YouTube ninjas. Here's the YouTube link because you guys don't fucking like getting off bullshit ass YouTube. So I'll give you guys the Rumble link too. Fresh and fit. I gotta raid myself. Here's the Rumble link, ninjas. For my Rumble ninjas, come on over. And guys, like I said before, we're probably going to move away from streaming on YouTube. Mostly it's going to go over there. So let me go ahead real quick. And guys, don't forget to join OSS. Use code EARLYGROYPER. Get in for $2. We're going to have an awesome stream tomorrow. A Liddy stream. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm going to raid myself here for real quick. Okay, boom, fresh and fit. Save, okay. And then I don't know how to raid on Rumble. All right, Rumble guys, I'm just dropping a link for you guys. Rumble ninjas, come on. Here's the link. I'm going to pin it for you guys. Come on over, watch on Rumble, because Rumble's the best. Fuck YouTube. Fuck YouTube with a... Giving you guys the Rumble link. OSS ninjas, there's the Rumble link for you guys. Kick ninjas, here's the Rumble link for you guys. Come on over, guys. Come on over. I'm going to end the stream right now. Love you, ninjas. We'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Big stream tomorrow. Going to cover the news, a bunch of different topics. Love you guys. Peace.